lovies! Ngayong August, ako ay magse-celebrate ng aking 33rd birthday. At dahil umaapaw inyong suporta sa aking YouTube channel at kayo ay pumapayag na mag-subscribe sa tuwing nangungulit ako, I am planning to give back to you guys. Sali na kayo sa birthday promo ko dahil mamimigay po ako ng grocery items and load items sa 3 grand winners na mapipili ko from my YouTube channel. Para malaman ng mechanics ng promo na ito, watch this. Hello lovies! Ito ang mga paraan kung paano kayo pwedeng sumali sa aking birthday promo. Una, kung hindi pa kayo nakasubscribe sa aking YouTube channel, pumunta lang po kayo sa inyong YouTube app sa inyong cellphone or laptop at pagkatapos, hanapin po ninyo ang aking channel na Learn with V. Ayan, malalaman niyo pong yun ang aking channel kapag nakita niyo na ang aking avatar or profile picture. Pagkatapos po, punta lang kayo sa subscribe button, i-click ito, and voila! Kayo ay nakasubscribe na sa aking channel at ito ay free. Pero wag nyo rin kakalimutan i-click ang notification bell at ilagay ito sa all button. Para lahat ng videos na ina-upload ko, real-time po ninyong mapapanood at real-time din kayong updated. At ngayong nakasubscribe na kayo, pwede na kayong manood ng kahit anong video na meron sa channel ko. Pwede ninyong hanapin kung alin ang inyong favorite at kapag nakita nyo na, do not forget to give me a thumbs up. I-click lang ang button na to, ang like button, and voila! Naka-like na ang video. Pagkatapos nito, punta lang po kayo sa comment section. Makikita ninyo, add a public comment. Ilagay lang sa comment box na ito kung paano kayo natulungan ng video na ito. For example, pwede nating sabihin na thumbs up. Thumbs up. At i-click nyo lang ang comment button. Pagkatapos po nun, invite your friends to like your comment as well. Ang pinakamaraming like na makukuha ang siyang mananalo sa ating birthday promo. Di ba napakadali lang? So what are you waiting for? Invite your friends to join the promo as well. Masaya to. Alam ko hindi ganun kalakihan ang aking pwedeng maitulong, pero sa panahon ng pandemya, alam ko malaking tulong na rin ito para sa ating lahat. Hey y'all, it's Monday once again, and that means it's another live stream Monday for me. My name is V, your virtual friend and content creator for my YouTube channel Learn with V. This is the Ask V segment, and for tonight, we are going Filipino. In celebration of the Buwan ng Wika, we will talk about an issue that involves us Pinoys. If you're not a Filipino and you're still watching this, that is all right because everybody is welcome. Tonight is August 24, 2020, and it's exactly 7:30 p.m. or evening here in the Philippines, wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Town Fiesta Magalang. I hope everybody is celebrating with discipline and social distancing in mind. Also, if you're celebrating your birthday today, happiest birthday to you guys. I hope all your wishes come true. I just celebrated mine, and one of my wishes is for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Learn with V. And if you have not yet, please do so. Kindly help me grow the community, guys. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so very much. I love you. All right, my birthday promo is still ongoing. You may check the video mechanics on YouTube and Facebook, and I have just played that one for you earlier. I hope you were able to catch that. And speaking of which, we are simultaneously live streaming on both platforms right now. And if you're watching the replay, hey, thank you, you gorgeous creatures of planet Earth. I appreciate it big time. I also want to say thank you very much to those who joined my birthday live stream episode and those who greeted me. My heart is full. I couldn't thank you enough. Of course, to my go-to resident co-host, Andrew, thank you so much, dude, always. And happy birthday to your sister, Julian Abby De Luna. And I would also want to offer a moment of silence to our brothers and sisters in Holosulu who've just experienced a suicide bombing incident today. Our prayers are with you. Okay, so tonight will be another interesting and I'd say arguably a heated discussion for us since the topic may trigger some of us to reacting and giving our own opinions on the matter. But hey, let's treat this episode as an eye opener and a reality check. Some of us may not admit to the issue, while others may be casual about it and say, yes, that we Filipinos, no matter how much we pride ourselves to the world because of our history, heritage, culture, and our identity as a people, we Pinoys embody a lot of toxic culture or traits. Now, you heard it correctly. Tonight, we'll talk about the top 10 toxic Pinoy traits. If you have them, keep watching. If you don't have them, keep watching as well. We all need some whipping. But kidding aside, I'll be joined tonight by another good friend of mine. We were colleagues before as English teachers, and in that was in one university. He's now affiliated with Rare Job as business English teacher. He also sings like me, a health buff, one of my fitspiration. Please help me welcome the one and the only Mr. Peter John Isip. Hello, Sir PJ.
Oh,
What's up?
hi everyone, and a good evening to all of us, to all of you viewing us. Grabe naman yung yung health buff, inspiration, at sing-sing. Baka pasampulin mo ko ha, hindi ako prepared.
Hindi naman, because I've been seeing your post on Facebook while you're doing all this CrossFit and HIIT training, and I'm like,
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
buti pa siya. Ang lakas.
And you can do that. Nako, walang malit na bagay yan. I think you can do it really. Anyway, so
How
yun.
are you?
I'm doing great actually teaching and teaching. This pandemic is made me stuck at home, and thank you for guesting me, for having me here. Wow.
No,
And
the pleasure is
finally,
mine. Yeah,
oh,
finally.
diba? Pero kidding is I'm very in awe na kinukuha mo ko ngayon.
Nah, the pleasure is
So,
mine, like what I said. I'm honored that you are my co host for tonight because tonight we have an interesting topic. And like what I said,
yeah,
it'll be intriguing, arguably a heated one because we might agree to disagree about a lot of certain
yeah,
subtopics regarding this matter. And to our audience right now, if you want to join the conversation, please do so. All you have to do is comment your opinions, your 2 cents on the comment section below, and then we will entertain them. If you have questions too, I hope we could answer them right away.
yeah.
All right. So, like what I said tonight, we will talk about the top 10 toxic Filipino
Filipino
traits.
trip.
Yep.
Yeah,
Alam naman nating lahat na tayong mga Pinoy, we are very proud of who we are and what we are as a people. But then again, since, the beginning of time in our existence as a people, napakarami nating mga characteristics or traits na talaga namang minsan mapapakamot ulo ka na lang.
true. And marami, sobrang exposed na ako sa ganyang mga kultura. As
Mhm.
in, if I would sum up my experiences of toxic Filipino traits exposure, parang meron tayong mga 3 hours na usapan.
Oo. Actually, kulang siguro ang 3 oras if we talk about
Mm,
everything that we hate about ourselves, tama?
Oo, totoo yan. And of course, may mga bagay-bagay na kailangan na lang nating bigyan ng understanding. Kasi minsan hindi naman talaga nila sinasadya, or minsan gano'n na talaga sila, hindi talaga natin alam. Pero let's rationalize this. And saan ba sila nagro-root, 'di ba? Mas maganda nating
Mhm.
i-dissect natin yung mga ganyan-ganyang bagay.
Yeah, and like what I
So,
said in
without
the
further ado,
introduction, yep. We don't want to
yeah,
trigger anyone. Let's just keep an open mind and enjoy the
yeah,
discussion, 'di ba? Accept the reality that we do possess
oo,
these traits. Okay. Like what Sir
oo,
PJ said.
please don't cancel our ideas. The cancel culture is out there, I know. Pero we're just having healthy, mature conversation. So
Mm-hmm.
let's dig into it na. Sige, let's go.
Yeah. All right. So this is number 10. Number 10
Kaplas.
among the list or in the list would be hypocrisy or kaplastikan. Well, not a lot will admit to this one, pero whether you like it or you don't, isa ito sa mga characteristics or traits nating mga Pilipino na talaga namang minsan, nakakainis talaga. So, what does it mean to be plastic or, hypocrite in this kind of culture that we have? For one, we are two-faced earthlings. Kaibigan mo kapag kaharap mo, kaaway mo pagtalikod niyo sa isa't isa. Okay. Apart from that,
True.
there's another dimension to that kind of hypocrisy. We're not really vocal about what we feel. Hindi natin nasasabi talaga kung ano yung nararamdaman natin to a certain person or to a given situation. So we'd rather keep it because we fear, I don't know, judgment or rejection of opinion. So that's one dimension, another dimension of hypocrisy. And another thing is we tend to hide our emotions, 'di ba? Hindi natin pinapakita yung totoong nararamdaman natin because we might feel na judge tayo ng ibang tao because we are being vulnerable and honest, right? And then we tend to be pretentious too. You're nice to everybody. Pagtalikod nila, pagtalikod mo, you say a lot of things about them. And the last dimension I want to bring up tonight, we tend to obey the norms of the society, even if that meant compromising our personal beliefs and set standards. So, Sir PJ, let's start with the first bullet. We are
Oo.
two-faced earthlings. Your take on that?
My take on that is, oo, totoo. Two-faced talaga ang mga tao ngayon. Pero let's look into the context. Bakit ba siya two-faced? Baka naman professionally speaking, she just don't want to start an argument. So she'd rather just, Pero ibang usapan yung I think number second bullet, yung hindi mo
Mm-hmm.
sasabihin, yung tapos sa labas, sa ibang tao mo sasabihin.
Yeah.
That's something na hindi dapat talaga. Pwedeng maging two-faced ka, you just don't want to actually hindi two-faced yun, no? Kung tatahimik ka lang, hindi naman two-faced yun. Parang, oo nga, parang hindi two-faced yun. Yung two-faced, mabait ka kapag nakaharap siya, tapos nakatalikod, kung ano-ano sinasabi mo, girl,
Mm-hmm.
may something wrong. Kasi kung walang ginagawang masama sa iyo ang isang tao, in nature and by nature, dapat mabait ka din sa kanya. Kasi wala siyang tinanim na masama sa iyo. Ngayon, kung ikaw naman itong masama talaga ang ugali, ikaw talaga may lumalabas talaga sa iyo. Kasi tawag ito, ikaw na yung bukal ng kasamaan ng loob, ganyan.
Mm-hmm.
Which is wrong kasi feeling ko yung mga taong ganyan, bata pa lang sila, nagtatanim na sila ng sama ng loob. Kaya nung lumalaki sila, nag-aani na sila ng sama ng loob.
Yeah.
Yeah, siguro ganyan ang mga attitude. Pero let's give them a little bit of understanding. Pero to some extent, baka naman
Yeah.
ma-abuse tayo, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
So yun yung two-face. Sa akin not unless, kasi ganito yan. Usually kapag nagiging two-facing isang tao, they feel like you're a threat. Kapag you're a threat to them, sisiraan ka.
Mm-hmm.
Ngayon, kung hindi ka nila masira kasi kasi very firm ang pagkatayo mo, sila ang masisira in the long run. So, ang masasabi dyan is, sa akin huwag patulan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best, ang kasi sa kanila is, baka naghahanap lang din sila ng attention. And kung binigyan mo naman yung attention mo by making patol, wala na. Nanalo na sila. Di ba? Nakuha nila yung gusto nila. And kung mabibigay yung gusto nila, just ignore them.
Yeah.
Pero, be careful kasi hindi naman yun agad-agad na detect. Not unless, mayroong kang empathic traits na, teka, parang merong something off sa kanyang pakikitungo sa akin. And thankfully, meron akong ganong sense. Marami na akong nakakasalamuha, hindi to genuine. Parang, masisense mo di ba? Ikaw, Miss B. Paano mo ba masisense ang ganyan mga bagay-bagay?
Well, ako, I just want to react to some of the points that you have raised, sir, which I think are very interesting. For one, to contextualize itong hypocrisy or kaplastiko na to, like you mentioned a while back, if it's a professional setup, we don't really consider it kaplastikan because we are all expected to behave in such a
Mm.
way if we are working with other people. We cannot
Professionally, yes.
like everybody we're working with, and they
Mm.
couldn't like us back the same way. That
Mm.
is a fact that that we have to accept. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like them even if you don't naturally like them. Plastic ka na. No, it's just, you have to behave that way given that
Oo,
context. But
professional ka lang, oo.
yeah, but without the context of, the professional aspect of it all, kung generally lang, talagang you're the type who is friendly to somebody kapag kaharap mo, and then pagtalikod mo sa kanila, you do a lot of things, the opposite way. Meron ka for sure motivations. One, you may be inggit,
Mm.
right? Pwedeng may inggit ka sa taong yon. Two, like what you said, you have ulterior motives kung bakit mo siya fini-friend kapag kaharap mo siya, and then pagtalikod niya, ang dami-dami mong ginagawa or sinasabing masama tungkol sa kanya. And then another thing is you have insecurities too. Probably
Mm.
in connection to the inggit that you have with the person, you have these insecurities. And at the same time, you're just scared to actually like the person. I think there's that concept na minsan sinisiraan
Mm.
mo or pinaplastic mo yung isang tao because you are just scared to admit na gusto mo tong taong to. It's just that, like what you've mentioned, baka nagkakaroon ng inferiority complex. Like, this person is better than I am, so I couldn't like this person. Instead of liking this person, I'll pretend that I like him or her, but at his back, you know,
Kina-cancel na pala siya, gano'n, 'di ba?
yes, because I want to be better than him or than her, something to that effect,
Mm.
right? But what I like about what you said is, kung meron ng pa-plastic sa'yo, it's best na hindi mo patulan. But at least you know who to trust or whom to trust and not to
True,
trust.
i-sense mo 'yan, oo.
Mhm, yeah.
Dapat ano, careful ka sa choosing of friends, ganyan. So, ang pinag-uusapan nating two-face dito is parang si Regina ng ano, Mean Girls.
Yes,
Gano'n, oo, yung kaharap mo mismo, don't trust liars. Yun lang ang
mhm,
masasabi ko. Yung
yeah. So
parang
you don't have to be
iba
too
yung feeling.
trusting.
Mm.
Oo, you don't have to be too trusting naman. But do not discount the fact naman or the possibility that this person is being genuine to you. It's really hard to
Mm.
tell kasi there's no black and white, paradigm na
Mm.
this person is truthful to me, this person is not. So I couldn't really
True.
tell who to trust. You'll just sense it, like what you said. Malalaman mo naman
Mm.
if the person is genuine
Marami.
to you or not.
Oo. Tsaka ano, sabi nga sa ano, may kasabihan nga tayo na, "Take everything with a grain of salt."
Mhm.
'Yan, parati nating iisipin na okey. Bakit niya sinabi ito? Genuine
Mhm.
ba talaga siya?
Mhm.
Parang bakit gusto niyang magustuhan ko siya? Mga gano'ng
Mhm.
yun ang mga tanong natin. Pero, 'wag nating pakaisipin, baka naman i-obsess natin 'yan, masisira ang ating mental health. Huwag nating
Oo.
pagmuling-mulayin yung mga ganyang bagay kasi very ano lang 'yan, very trivial. So, isipin mo lang na gano'n, then let them be kasi 'di ba, wala namang ano, wala pa naman silang ginawang ano, something
Yep,
na
or baka naman
nakakasira sa'yo.
isipin mo lahat ng nakikilala mo pina-plastic ka lang,
Oo,
may kailangan lang sa'yo kaya mabait
baka
sa'yo.
oo, baka naman ma-paranoid ka na tapos hindi gano'n, dapat i-enjoy mo lang yung moment. Huwag mo na
Mhm,
masyadong bigyan ng mga pretenses ang mga bagay-bagay, mga gano'ng
yep,
ano lang, klaro lang, make it see the world as it is, gano'n lang siguro as
oo.
of ano. Then kapag nag-develop, maganda kasi alam ko if you're genuinely a nice person, God will not let you ano, break down and in
Mhm,
the hands of these kind of people. Yun lang
mhm.
ang ano ko, yun lang ang take ko diyan. O sige,
Yeah, yeah, and
yeah,
another thing, Sir
mm,
PJ, I've mentioned on the second bullet, yung copy na meron tayo, we're not vocal about what we feel, and that could be a factor why some people tend to be hypocrites to other people. Instead of telling the
mm,
person what we don't like about that person, we'd rather tell other people about it because I don't know, maybe we're scared na baka mag-away tayo
yun,
nung taong yon,
oo.
or that
Pero
i-reject niya or i-cancel niya yung opinion natin about him or her.
and the truth is, the more we do this, na we tend to hide our emotions, bumabalik lang siya in an ugly form. Very, very pangit. As in talagang, and then, alam mo, yung friendship na ayaw mong masira dahil ayaw mong magsalita, it's already broken.
Mhm.
Totoo lang. Kasi kapag nalaman niya na kaibigan mo na marami kang sinasabi sa likod niya, ay, auto kill yon, wala na agad, 'di ba? Wala na.
Mhm.
Dead mo na, basag na agad. Ano na talaga yon, cancel ka na agad.
Yeah.
Cancel ka na agad, yung friendship niyo FO na agad-agad. Kasi 'di ba,
Mhm.
who would trust you? Hindi ka nga marunong maging honest sa sarili mo, 'di ba? So who would trust you? So in the long run, mawawala, lalo ka talaga mawawalan ng friends, and
Mhm.
that's very sad and very, very lonely. Yun lang ang masasabi ko.
Yeah, and I
Yun lang.
think that kind of attitude or culture na hindi tayo very vocal about what we feel, it's really deeply rooted in the kind of culture that we have as Filipinos. We come from a
Mm.
very old school type of culture. Unlike with Western cultures, they tell you anything that they want to tell you, even if that thing will hurt you, right? But in our case,
True.
it's not that. We'd rather keep the things that we want to tell the person, even if they're facts or truths, kasi we're scared that we might hurt the person's feelings, we might get rejected, tayo pa yung mapapasama if we tell them this and that. So,
Pero,
yung ganong klaseng, yes, so go ahead, sir.
ayan, it's all rooted in fear, di ba? Fear of rejection, fear of ganito. We don't have to really fear kasi there's nothing to fear.
Mm-hmm.
The fact na, yan, natago mo yung emotions mo, lalong hindi healthy yan, di ba? Lalo mo
Mm-hmm.
hindi sinishare yung gusto mong sabihin. So, ganito lang yan eh. Ang problema kasi ng Pilipino, hindi tayo tinuruan na maging gracefully, ang tawag dyan,
Vocal.
um, vocal. Kasi hindi tayo tinuruan na, um, with all due respect, ma'am, sir, or
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, ganyan-ganyan, ma, ganito. Hindi kasi ganito, ganito. Mag-voice out tayo. Ang problema kasi sa atin, pag pinagalitan tayo, galit din tayo, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
O, di ba? Parang, oh my God, parang, sa mga girlfriend, mag-boyfriend, galit si boyfriend, galit din si girlfriend, o di nag-away na sila. Yung mga ganon, hindi, ano tayo eh, medyo, sabi mo nga kanina, we're very proud people, as a people, we're very proud of our culture and all. And meron lang talaga tayong pride and meron talaga tayong ego. And
Yeah.
yun ang problema. Imbes na healthy ang relationship, kinakain tayo ng ego natin. Na dapat
And
na nilulunok natin.
mhm. And another important thing that we could highlight here kung bakit na, alam mo yun, nade-develop yung concept of hypocrisy or kaplastikan sa ating mga Pilipino.
Mm,
It's also in our household. I'm not blaming
mm.
how we were trained or how we were
Or
raised
race,
by
yeah.
our parents, but I think it's safe to say na generally ang mga Pilipino, they grew up in a household kung saan bawal sumagot, bawal
Mm,
mag-explain, bawal magbigay ng opinion. So,
mm,
nahihinder yung free will natin or your freedom natin to tell the truth and to be honest about what we feel and what we want to say because we were trained
mm.
that way.
Oo, kaya ano tayo eh, parang napipigilan tayong mag-share kasi parang
Mm,
feeling natin jinudge na tayo ng parents natin, jinudge na tayo ng mga kapatid natin and all. Pero
mhm,
the truth is, puwede naman natin i-clarify. Siguro
mhm,
in the household, I'm parang tawag dito, I'm saying this to the parents na dapat maging tayo, maging accepting tayo sa ideas. Hindi porke bata si anak, eh, hindi na siya puwedeng maging tama. Baka naman
mhm.
meron siyang point, baka tingnan natin 'yun. Pero kayo namang mga anak, huwag kayong sumisigaw, "Mama, pa, ganito kasi 'yun, ganito." Mahinahon ang usapan, mas maganda, 'di ba?
Yes.
'Yan, merong nag-comment.
Yes, we have a comment right here and I actually placed it on the screen para makita nila because it's one good concept why people tend to be hypocrites or they couldn't really be honest about what they want to tell the other person. Sir PJ, please read our comment.
Sometimes po kasi baka ma-offend sila 'pag sinabi po natin yung totoo. Maging dahilan pa ng pag-aaway ninyo. Okay, so ganito ang take ko diyan 'pag 'pag gano'n na medyo feeling mo makaka-offend yung sasabihin mo, dalhin mo siya sa medyo private na usapan. "Girl, let's talk. I want
Mhm.
to say something to you kasi medyo ganito, ganyan. Kasi parang meron akong gustong i-share. Girl, gusto kitang bigyan ng deodorant." Mga kailangan mo yata ng deodorant, girl. Kasi girl, ayoko namang ha, I'm just being a friend to you ha, hindi kita gustong ipahiya. Ayaw
Mhm.
kitang makauwi ng iba, baka sabihin nila, ay naku, something. So,
Yeah.
yung ganyan moments, ako personally, one time in my life, kasi I was experimenting with those kind of things when I was in, nung college, gano'n. So, hindi ko pala hiyang yung isang brand ng Dio. Talagang
Mhm.
nilapitan ako ng friend ko, "Friend, medyo palitan natin ng Dio mo, ha?" Mga gano'ng emote. Okey lang naman, 'di ba? At least nga merong nagsasabi sa'yo, oh, 'di ba? Okey lang 'yan. Pero again, we have to be gracious about it. Baka naman dinala mo nga dun sa may sulok tapos sinabi mo, "Hoy, patok ka," ganyan, oh, 'di ba? Iba naman yun, 'di ba? Gano'n naman parang nakakasakit naman yun, 'di ba? So,
Mhm.
nandun pa rin tayo parati sa meron ka ng content, kailangan mo ng i-contextualize yung pagkakasabi mo niyan. So,
Mhm.
papaano mo dadalhin? Oo,
Yep.
yun yung maging creative ka. Friend,
It
alam mo may concern ako sa'yo, hindi kita gustong ipahiya, gano'n lang naman. Wala tayong walang wala tayong i-explain niyo na hindi niyo gustong i-down or something.
Mhm. Yep. And I think if you are friends with the person and if you couldn't really build your friendship on honesty, what's the point of being friends? I mean,
Oo nga.
if it will benefit the person and you have to be really honest about whatever you want to tell the person, sabihin mo. Because if the person
Mm,
respects you and he thinks or she thinks you just want the best for him or for her, tatanggapin naman niya yung opinion mo. If it's really a matter of, it will benefit him or her. Ngayon, if it's something that you think will offend her, I think it boils down to the manner on how you will tell her or him,
true.
'di ba?
Well said.
Kasi sabi naman na talaga nila, it's not the message really, it's how you say the message that affects
Mm,
the message. So, ano bang mas pipiliin natin? Letter A, would rather keep it from the person kasi ayaw nating
mm.
ma-offend? Or letter B, we'll tell other people about it and the other person will know it from the others, which is going to be a lot more offensive. Kasi naging
Drama 'yan,
chismis,
drama.
'di ba?
Oo,
So,
tapos sasabihin pa niya niyan kapag "Alam mo, bakit hindi mo sinabi sa'kin?" Gano'n ang niyan, 'di
uh
ba?
oo.
'Di ba, ang sama mong kaibigan mo.
Mhm.
Naman daw natin si Murphy. Hi,
Yes,
Murphy.
actually meron siyang message dito na i-a-up ko ngayon. Ayan, here
'Yan,
I
okey.
think this is in connection to what we said a while back regarding being raised in a household na bawal sumagot or mag-explain ng
Mm,
side. And she said, the concept of respect, in quotation marks, as our traditional culture taught us. Yes, exactly.
yes,
So, if you
exactly.
don't voice out your opinion, if you're not honest about what you feel, kapag di ka sumasagot sa nakakatanda sa'yo, automatically, we equate it to respect, which is not really true. Kasi even if we're not
Mm,
answering back, in our heads, nagmumura na
oo.
tayo, sigaw na tayo.
True, at saka mas toxic yun kasi nagba-bottle up ang emotion. Kasi we're parang okey, third line up na pala. Third bullet, nasa third bullet na siya. Dun na siya
Oo.
sakop. Okay, so yung third bullet natin, i-ano muna,
We
introduce
tend
muna.
to hide our emotions, ayan.
Yan concept of respect na sinasabi ni kinote ni Murphy. Yan yung cultural respect na tinuturo sa'tin na we're always and we should always dismiss our emotions. Na
Mhm.
dahil hindi wala kang karapatan kasi anak ka lang, gano'n ang emote.
Mhm.
Ang problema doon is tao tayo, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Lalo na yung bata developing. O kung tinuruan mo siya ng gano'n na bottling up all the emotions, nagiging traumatic ang childhood ni Bagets, 'di ba? 'Pag lumaki
Mhm.
'yan, hindi siya marunong mag-decide for himself. 'Pag lumaki 'yan, hindi siya marunong mag-explain ng kanyang nararamdaman. 'Pag lumaki 'yan, hindi niya naiintindihan ang sarili niya. So, ano
Mhm.
yung respect na 'yun? Anong tawag dito, naging convenient lang sa parent, pero naging trauma sa bata. Parang,
Mhm.
what's that, 'di ba? That's something that we really need to ano, as future parents and for the parents out there, we always need to to acknowledge the emotions of these children that we have. Kasi pagdating ng panahon at dinidismiss niyo na lagi yung emotions niya, baka kayo na mismo ang i-dismiss niyo paglaki nila, hindi na kayo pansinin. Nasaan ka, madam?
Ayan, hinighlight
Ganyan.
lang kita ng konti kasi you were talking.
Sabi,
I'm here. Yep.
ayan.
All right. So
Nagulat ako
basically,
doon. Okay.
we're just on number 10, hypocrisy or kaplastikan. Marami siyang pwedeng panggalingan. It can come from insecurity, dishonesty, how you were raised, your personal culture, yung inggit mo or whatever. But as Filipinos, as much as possible, let's not try to destroy one another because we're all humans. We belong to the
Mm-mm.
similar nationality. We have the same blood in our veins. So as much
Crab
as
meat. Huwag
possible,
tayong crab.
yeah, if you don't like the person, don't try to pretend that you like the person. Just say so. I don't want to offend you, but just to be honest about it, I really couldn't find anything to like about you. And it's not you, ah. It's not you. There's nothing wrong about you. I think you're okay. It's just that I cannot
Hindi tayo
like you. I don't
nagma-match.
like you. Yes. Hindi tayo
Yun lang, hindi tayo
nagjajay.
nagma-match. Yun lang. Wala tayong
Yeah.
chemistry. And that's that. Ganun lang. Wala na, hindi kailangan na mag-away. Yan.
Yeah.
At hindi
Kasi
kailangan
ang
gumawa
problema
ng
doon,
drama.
oo, kinakaibigan mo pa eh, and then paplastikin mo
Mm-mm.
lang pala. So, if you really couldn't be
Oo.
genuinely friends with the person, do not.
Oo. Just
'Di
cohabit
ba?
the world
Yeah.
peacefully, di ba? Ganun
Cohabitation,
lang.
mutual respect. Sabi nga ni Miss Murphy dito, I'll just
Oo.
up the message or the comment. Being kind will not cost you anything. Exactly.
True.
'Di
Zero
ba?
talent required.
Mhm. So again, if you cannot like the person, if you do not like the person, you don't have any intentions of being friends with the person, be civil, respect the person, no? Basta wag mo lang kakaibiganin and then eventually paplastikin mo.
Oo.
That's
Tapos
really
sisiraan
toxic.
mo lang pala. Huwag ganun.
Uh, that's really
May ganun.
toxic. And, yep, that's number 10. 10 pa lang pero ang dami na nating na-discuss. So that's number 10,
30 minutes
kaplastikan.
na
I'm
agad.
not saying
Oo.
that every Filipino is hypocrite or may taglay na kaplastikan sa katawan, but I would have to say that there are some of us who are. Okay?
Oo,
So as
marami.
much as possible, let's try to change that kind of trait because it is not healthy, it is not nice.
True. Okay,
Okay.
so
So now I guess we could move on to number 9. Eto, in connection to upbringing and respect and whatnot, some Filipino, ito muna, disclaimer muna tayo. With all due respect to
we're not
parents,
saying everyone.
yeah, with all due respect to parents, we are not trying to question how you raise your children, how you view your children, but this is one of the Filipino traits that I think needs some addressing. Number 9, some Filipino parents treat their children as insurances. Anong ibig sabihin nun, Sir PJ? Number 1, this is the mentality. My children will take me out of this poverty. That's number 1. Number 2, I gave birth to you, pinanganak kita, dinamitan kita, pinakain kita, binigyan kita ng bahay. Hence, obligasyon mo ako pagtanda ko. Number 3, you are earning now. Mayroon ka ng sariling trabaho at ikaw ay sumasahod. So you have to earn your keep in this house. Magbigay ka monthly.
Mm.
Another dimension on
Oh,
this. Older people are always right, which I think we have already touched a while back. And then the
oo.
last one, you cannot explain your side without being tagged
I
disrespectful, which
think
I
I
also
think
talked about a while back.
pwede nating i-leave out yung dalawang yan kasi
Yes. So let's talk about the first
nag-damage.
one. The
Oh
first
my God.
bullet. Ang aking mga anak ang siyang aahon sa akin sa kahirapan.
Kahirapan.
Yes.
Mag-aahon sa'kin sa lusak.
Oo. So your take on this one?
My take on this is first things first. Bakit ka nasa kahirapan? 'Di ba?
Mhm.
Bakit ka naghihirap? Is it
Mhm.
pinamana ba sa'yo ang kahirapan? Kung pinamana sa'yo ang kahirapan, it's your responsibility to get yourself out of it. bakit mahirap ka, eh. Ibig sabihin mahirap din ang parents mo. If otherwise, kung mayaman ang parents mo, bakit ka naghihirap ngayon? It's, bakit? Yun ang ano,
Mhm.
eh, yun ang sagutin mong tanong. Ngayon, kung kasalanan mo na naghihirap ka ngayon, bakit mo pa pu papaako sa mga anak mo yung kasalanan mo pala na naghihirap ka? And, second to that, kung ikaw naman ay pinanganak sa kahirapan, dapat tinry mo naman man lang maging isang success story. Kasi marami naman tayong success stories na dinaan sa sipag at tiyaga with a little bit of luck and blessing from God, kaya nakaahon sa hirap. Okay. So, the question there is, asaan? Asaan ka doon? Bakit ka nasa kahirapan? At bakit yung anak mo ang papaako mo yung sarili mo sa anak mo? Why? 'Di ba?
Mhm.
Hindi nila kasalanan yon. Kung pinanganak kang mahirap, kasalanan mo na nag-stay ka ng mahirap. Kasi pwede ka namang umahon on your own, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Yun ang ano doon. I'm not saying na yung mga mahihirap ay mga tamad, ano. I've known so many people na wala talaga silang chance, wala silang opportunity. And kung napalaki nila ng maayos without this pressure, yung mga anak nila, I'm sure hindi sila iaahon ng mga anak nila just because they wanted them to gusto nilang iahon sa hirap yung mga magulang nila. Hindi, kasi ang nakikita ko kapag gano'n ang pressure sa mga nagtatanan yung mga batang 'yan. Kasi
Mhm.
ini-escape nila yung responsibility na pinapataw sa kanila. Kaya kung napalaki mo ng maayos ang mga anak mo, balik na lang sa'yo 'yun. Blessing na lang
Mhm.
sa'yo 'yun kung iahon ka sa hirap. Kung hindi ka iahon sa hirap, di wala, 'di ba, okey lang. Kasi at least yung mga anak mo naging okey sila. Kasi
Mhm.
ano ba ang point ng parenting, 'di ba? Hindi naman natin
Mhm.
sinasabi na, para may mag-alaga sa'kin 'pag matanda na.
Mhm.
Ano, home for the aged? Home for the aged pala ang mga anak mo? Hindi gano'n.
Mhm.
Siguro ano na lang nila 'yun, kung mahal ka nila, kung hindi mo sila pinressure na ganito, kaya babalik sila sa'yo, kaya
Mhm.
alagaan ka nila. Pero yung pressure, hindi yun, it's unwarranted for, parang hindi siya puwede, hindi siya magandang gawin. What do you
Mhm.
think? What do you
Well,
think?
ako, I grew up in a very traditional family, and yung closeness namin sa family, I'd say importante para sa'min to be for each other kapag kailangan namin ng isa't isa. But my
Mm,
parents, even my extended family, they never really tried to force anything out of me. Uy, magbigay ka. Uy, alagaan
mm,
mo si ganto, ganyan. Uh, it was because of my love for them that I was doing that. So I have to agree to what
true,
you said na if you raise your children in such a way na alam nilang tanawin lahat ng sacrifices at pagmamahal na binigay mo sa kanila, you don't really need to force them, or you don't really need to beg or ask them to give it all back to you, because
true.
they will automatically dahil parents ka nila, 'di ba? And it's also deeply rooted in our culture na hindi naman talaga natin sinesend ang mga matatanda natin or parents natin to the home for the aged when they're, ugod-ugod na and sick and whatnot. We really take care of them as much as
True,
possible as long as we could, right? But the point here is, meron kasing mga parents na nagiging abusive to the point na as parents, they've been irresponsible in establishing their finances and the future of their children. So, ang pinaka-resolution na lang nila is, anak, ikaw na lang ang bahala kasi nag-fail na ako as your parent eh. I mean,
oo,
I can't
and
really provide for you financially. Ganito lang ako, hindi ako nag-aral. Or probably the backstory is maaga silang kinasal. They weren't really aware of family planning. Ang dami nilang naging anak, These
mm.
things, they all contribute to the fact na pwede nilang gawing insurance policy ang mga anak nila, which I
Oh my
feel
God pala.
is wrong, 'di
Very
ba?
wrong actually.
Kasi as parents, nag-decide kang magbuntis, nag-decide kang manganak, nag-decide kang
Mag-anak,
mag-decide ng buhay sa mundong ito, responsibilidad mo yung buhay na yun hanggang kamatayan ng buhay na yun, 'di
True,
ba?
and meron akong na ano, na napanood sa YouTube o sa Facebook na isang video about that, na sinabi nung nanay na ano, nung pinanganak kita sa mundong ito, i-aano kita, ilalakad kita sa mundong ito until
Mhm,
you can walk for your own. Kasi 'di ba, hindi naman natin, how would I say it? Hindi naman nila hiningi na ipanganak sila para
mhm,
araruhin mo sila na parang kalabaw, 'di ba? Hindi gano'n. So, 'yun ang ano do'n. And,
mhm,
I'll quote Tyrion Lannister
mhm,
sa Game of Thrones, "The death of love is duty and the death of duty is love." So,
mhm,
kung love ka nila, magiging magiging ano nila yun, parang labor of love nila yun sa'yo. Ngayon, kapag finorce mo sa kanila na, duty mo 'to sa akin as anak ko, dun tayo ano, kaya meron tayong nakikitang mga videos diyan. I'm not saying na bad parents sa mga binubugbog na matatanda na minamaltrato ng mga anak. Pero
mhm.
let's look into that. Bakit may ganong pent-up emotion at anger ang mga batang 'yan towards their parents, at nung naging elderly na at hindi na nakakalaban si lolo, lola, bakit lumalabas at ano, at bumubukal ang galit nila, 'di ba?
Mhm,
Gano'n yung ano do'n. Kasi baka nga ginawa mo siyang investment,
mhm,
ganyan, at na-objectify si bata.
mhm.
Kaya feeling niya kinasangkapan mo lang siya. So, kaya
Yeah,
nagiging rebellious ang kanyang ano, soul, ang kanyang attitude, ganyan. Yun
mhm.
ang ano ko do'n, yun ang take ko do'n, and definitely it's very wrong. We
Yeah,
can
it
agree
is.
to that. It should be a labor of love to bring them out of poverty. If you were in poverty, I think depende lang talaga sa tao. I am not sure how would we define poverty in the first place, 'di ba? Kasi I don't know. Poverty talagang ano, walang kahit isang tuka ba ito,
Well,
gano'n?
it depends naman kasi poverty could
'Di
be
ba?
relative to us. Para sa'tin
Yeah,
mahirap pala tayo, but if economically we're
right.
classified middle class, so hindi talaga tayo
Oh,
mahirap, right? But the thing is, a lot
or
of people,
feeling natin middle class tayo, tapos economically classified pala tayong mahirap. Pero sa'tin hindi
oo,
naman tayo mahirap, 'di ba? Oh,
mhm.
basta
But
I think the worst poverty is when love and happiness leaves the house.
mhm.
Yun ang house filled with poverty.
Yeah, or
Yun ang
when you see each other like investments, like what Ma'am Murphy said,
yes!
they see their children as investments. This is a scary fact and
Yeah.
it happens in our society. Yung ibang parents, they have to make their children prostitutes, 'di ba? May mga ganyang factor, yung
Oh my God,
child
yes, oo.
prostitution. Yung mga parents
Mm.
mismo sila yung nag-a-allow sa mga anak nila, online
Na
prostitution.
ma-violate, oo. Oh my gosh.
Just because of poverty and because they need money, which is parang, why would you do that to your own child? Anak mo yan, laman, dugo mo, but you would do that just so you could
Yan.
survive. Yun yung justification eh. Anong pipiliin ko? Gagamitin ko yung anak ko para magkapera kami or hahayaan kong mamatay kami sa gutom? You know, that kind of justification and mentality amongst some
Ay
parents.
naku, that's very wrong kasi marami namang trabaho diyan. She just wants the easy way out.
Mhm.
They just want that.
Mhm.
Kasi kung marami namang trabaho, I'm not saying I'm not saying na lahat tayo may opportunities. Pero then again, if you look around, there is always a chance. You just need to be creative.
Yep.
Pero katulad na lang ng mga ng mga maraming, the Aita who graduated cum laude in UP, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Those success stories will always show us inspiration. We just need to be creative in life because
Mhm.
with hard work and perseverance, with a little bit of blessing from God, you will be successful. I
Mhm.
hope. Yeah.
You
Kasi,
will be with
alam mo,
perseverance and hard work.
'di ba?
Mhm.
Yun lang naman ang nakikita kong ano doon. Kasi and I think if you pray hard enough, God will put you in the path of the right people to help you out.
Yep.
Yun lang ang nakikita ko.
And
Yun.
another comment right here. We have
Oh,
Mom Ken. Hi, Mom Ken. Thank you for
hi
joining the
Ma'am
live
Ken.
stream. She said,
Hi.
we are not our children's owners. We parents are actually stewards. And I have to
Very
agree
well
because I'm not
said.
a parent yet. Totoo to. We don't own our
Mm.
children. That's why it's stated in the Bible, kapag ang anak mo nag-asawa na yan, whether you like it or not, aalis na
Yes.
siya sa poder mo.
Wag
Di
mo
ba?
ng wag mo ng iyakan na parang
Oo.
ewan, 'di ba?
Di
It's
ba?
just that. Isa pang problema 'yan kasi hindi umaalis sa bahay ang ang
Oo.
mga kids, not unless kinasal na or yung
Mhm.
iba nga, talagang hindi umaalis.
Mhm.
Yun. That's another can of
It's
worms.
another kind of culture, yes. But I think it has both good and bad
But,
aspects, if you stay in your
oo.
parents' house even if you're married.
Depends
However,
on in your motive kasi baka
oo.
naman nag-stay ka lang kasi free house, free wifi, free MM. Kung ikaw naman ang nagbabayad ng lahat o
Yeah.
di ibig sabihin, you're a good child kasi you're helping out. Again,
Mhm.
duty of love, labor of love, not a duty.
Mhm.
Diba?
Yep.
Ganun
And
yung
yes,
motive.
again, we're not saying that every parent is like this, ha. Yung ginagamit nila yung mga anak
Mm-mm.
nila just to gain finances or money. It's just that some parents would opt to use their
Yeah.
children, as investments, as insurance policies kapag hindi na nila kayang palakihin yung mga anak nila. Yung parang binibigay nila yung responsibility, pinapasa nila yung responsibility sa mga anak nila para isalba yung pamilya. There's
True.
nothing wrong
Yung
to
mga
that. Kaya lang, if ibinigay mo lahat yung responsibility kahit ikaw physically malakas ka pa, capable ka pa to work on your own, medyo dun na yung question na papasok yung bakit, 'di ba?
at bakit ka naghihirap?
Oo, in the first place
Diba?
dapat 'pag nagpamilya ka, ready ka, 'di
Mm.
ba? Ready ka dapat.
Yun, responsibilidad mo yun, wag mong ipinapasa.
Yep.
Kaya tumatakas yung mga bata, kaya nagtatanan, kasi
Mhm,
nape-pressure.
mhm,
Yun lang ang
ayun.
take ko.
Yeah, we're not trying to
Another
question how you raise your children, ha, mga parents. It's just that we see
parents.
sometimes there are some parents who are like this. Like for example,
Mm.
yung mga namamali mo sa daan. I mean, okay, granted, poorest of the poor. Mamamali mo sila, bitbit pa rin nila yung mga bata, yung mga
Anak
babies,
ma
anak. I mean,
asan ang magulang, 'di ba?
'di ba? Or one time I was eating in a fast food chain. Merong isang bata nagbebenta ng what do you call this? Sampagita. I think he was just around 9 years old or 10 and I asked him, "Bakit ikaw ang gumagawa niyan? Nasaan ang magulang mo?" And then the child was honest enough to tell me, "Yung tatay ko po nakakulong kasi nahulihan ng drugs. Yung nanay ko po inaalagaan yung bunso kong kapatid." And that broke
Oh,
my heart kasi parang,
'di ba?
'di
Ah,
why? Kawawa
ah,
yung bata, hindi niya nai-enjoy yung pagkabata niya because you're passing on your
true.
responsibility as a parent.
At saka bakit 'di ba, okay, fine, sige, we can't really judge them
Mhm.
for what they've done or whatever. Pero kasi may anak ka na, 'di ba? Dapat medyo isipin natin yung anak natin,
Mhm.
sa mga ginagawa natin, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Kasi responsibilidad mo 'yan. It's actually in the family code
Mhm.
na 'yan, obligasyon mong maka-access ng education 'yan, clothes, primary needs niya, 'yan, mga gano'ng nasa family code 'yun.
Mhm.
Kung hindi, di bakit hindi mo na lang i-surrender sa DSWD na, "Ay hindi ko na pala kayang
Yes.
dalaw-dalawin mo na lang yung anak mo hanggang kapag ahon ka na sa hirap, 'di ba, di kunin mo na siya kapag kaya mo na ulit." Mga
Mhm.
gano'ng mga gano'ng isip kasi natin, basta magkakasama tayo through thick and thin, ganyan-ganyan. So, nire-raid na pala sila ng mga pulis, 'di ba? Tapos
Mhm.
ishi-shield nila yung mga anak nila, 'di ba?
Mhm.
'Di ba? Pinut mo pa in danger yung bata, like, what? Oh my God, 'di ba?
Yes,
Ang
nakakasakit
sakit
talaga ng
nun, 'di
puso
ba?
to see children working for their parents or for their families. Pero what choice
'Di
do
ba?
they have, 'di ba? They also have to eat.
Mm,
Yun nga lang, sabi ko
true,
nga, if in the beginning pa lang, you were able to prepare for the family that you were trying to
true.
make as parents, hindi mangyayari yung ganong situation sa mga anak mo.
At saka if you pray hard enough, again, God will put the right people in your midst, parang gano'n.
Mhm. Yep.
Ikaw, who would do that, 'di ba? Parang I'm not condemning the non-believers, 'no, pero may point 'yun, eh. Kasi bakit 'di ba, bakit gano'n yung crowd mo? Bakit
Mhm.
gano'n, 'di ba? Bakit sketchy, 'di ba? Very sketchy ang crowd mo. Parang ano ba 'yan, healthy ba 'yan sa mga paglaki ng anak mo? Dapat i-ano din natin 'yan, i-take that into consideration and factor. Kasi
Yep.
it takes sabi sa Japan, there's a Japanese proverb na it takes one community to raise a child.
Yep.
Kasi hindi
Mhm.
lang isang tao, hindi lang ang parents niya nakikita niya na example. Nakikita niya yung buong community niya dapat, ay ganito consistent sila. Dapat
Mhm.
and kung questionable ang community mo, what kind of children are you raising?
Yep.
Toxic nga, dahil
Sorry, medyo heavy yung topic. We have another comment right here from Ma'am Ken again. She said,
yeah.
the biblical role of a parent is to be a good steward of the children God has put into
True.
their care. A parent has the responsibility to care for the spiritual, emotional, and physical well-being of their children. Oo, holistic.
True. Holistic well-being, that's the thing, eh. Kasi,
Oo.
oo nga, sabihin natin spiritual, dinadala nga sa simbahan, may Sunday school. Eh, kung sinasaway mo naman parati na, "Uy, wag mong gawin, wag kang magsasalita
Mhm.
sa'kin," ganyan. Dapat,
Mhm.
yeah, dapat naging healthy emotionally, physically, spiritually. Yan.
Mhm.
Napakaganda ng sinabi ni Ma'am Ken. Ken?
Yes. Ma'am Ken, yes. And also we have to remember, no, as parents or eventually when we are parents, we have to remember that our children, vulnerable yung mga yan eh. Hindi pa
True.
established yung emotions, spirituality, even their physical well-being, lumalaki pa yan. So as much as possible, tayo talaga dapat yung nangangalaga sa kanila.
Oo.
Ngayon naman, if they grew up already, alam mo yon, may trabaho na
Ayan
sila,
na. Iba na
kaya ka
yung
na
usapang
nilang
yan.
oo, kaya ka na nilang, gastusan or tulungan sa gastos sa bahay and whatnot. Siguro yung gano'ng konsepto hindi rin siya pinupuwersa sa mga anak, pinag-uusapan, yes. Like, "Anak,
Labor. Labor
oo,
of love.
alam mo yung mga
Ikaw,
kapatid mo hindi pa tapos sa college, medyo may trabaho ka na. Okey lang ba
maging
anak if
sensitive
month"
lang.
Oo, monthly, medyo manghihingi si mama ng ganitong amount para lang madugtungan yung finances natin sa bahay, kung okey lang naman anak. Pero kung sa tingin mo meron kang paglalaan ng iba, mas maiintindihan naman ni mama. I think it's in the communication between the child and the
True.
parent.
Yun, maganda nga yung usapan na ganyan, yung talagang, "Eto, ako anak, medyo malaki ang bill sa ganito, medyo malaki
Mm.
ang bill sa ganyan, puwede mo bang total naman ikaw naman ang mag-i-aircon sa bahay." Mga gano'ng emotion, 'di ba?
Oo.
Tsaka huwag ka naman masyadong kapalan ng mukha, 'di ba, grumaduate ka na, eh. To be
Oo.
honest, parang ang ano sa'yo, ang responsibilidad sa'yo to sustain you is medyo wala ng responsibilidad si
Mhm.
mama mo na i-sustain ka. Siguro 'pag wala kang trabaho, once in a while tutulungan ka or 'pag para makahanap ng bagong trabaho. Pero medyo
Mhm.
ano naman, 'di ba, medyo mahiya-hiya naman tayo ng konti. Kasi hello,
Oo.
'di ba? Hindi
Kasi nga sa
puwedeng
kultura natin na Pilipino, kahit 92 years old na tayo, yung nanay natin 150, nakatira pa rin tayo sa
'di
kanila,
ba?
eh. Pero sa
Ang haba ng
kulturang
buhay.
Western, sa Western culture kasi the
80 years
moment
old,
you become
bakit na.
18, 'di ba? The moment you become 18, you are responsible for yourself. You can go outside your
You move
parents'
out,
house.
oo.
Yeah, or you could stay with them, but you have to earn your keep. Magbigay ka, you know? You have to
Oo,
feed yourself. Gano'n yung konsepto
oo,
nila. That's
bumili ka
why
ng pagkain, mag-grocery ka, magbayad ka
oo,
ng kuryente. Hindi naman sinasabing lahat yun bayaran mo, tumulong.
oo.
Hindi naman
Tumulong.
kung saan
Oo.
ka naman masaya, hindi naman yung magbibigay ka, eh, nagsasabi-sabi ka naman talaga, nagmu-murmur ka, 'wag gano'n.
Oo.
babalik tayo dun sa
Yung sumbat ka lang ng
oo,
sumbat, 'di ba?
oo, 'di ba? Ako naman yung nag-eme, huwag gano'n.
Ako na
Masama
nagbayad
yun,
ng kuryente
pamilya.
last month, eh.
Oo, kasi pamilya kayo, eh, 'di ba? Kung walang
Oo,
ambag yung mga kapatid mo at meron naman silang ano, meron silang tawag diyan, meron naman silang trabaho, ay gising-gising naman mga kapatid, dapat mag-usap-usap
mm,
kayo, 'di ba?
oo,
Eh, kung nag-retire na yung mga magulang niyo, eh, 'di ba, alam niyo yun, maging sensitive tayong lahat.
oo,
Hindi yung iisa lang
mm.
inaasahan niyo, ano yun, 'di ba, ano yun, superhero? Hindi puwedeng gano'n.
Oo. And sa mga
Yun,
anak naman, I mean kung pinalaki kayo ng tama ng magulang niyo, pinalaki kayo sa pagmamahal, nakita niyo naman na ginawa nila lahat yung makakaya nila para mairaos kayo sa pag-aaral niyo, pangangailangan niyo, even yung mga kapritsyo niyo binigay nila. When it's your turn naman, alam mo yun, retired
bigyan
na
niyo naman
sila,
sila
wala
ng
na
ano,
silang income, 'wag naman kayong insensitive din ng mga anak na ang alam niyo lang yung sarili niyo after niyong maging established individual,
oo.
kinakalimutan niyo na yung mga magulang niyo, 'wag naman gano'n.
Oo, pakonsuelo ka naman, 'di ba? Yung pa-ano,
Oo,
yung pakimkim ka naman, pa-pizza ka naman, gano'n.
mm.
'Pag malaki-laki ang
Oo.
nakuha mo, yung gano'n naman. Tsaka ano
Kasi
to,
alam niyo yes, go Sir
yung
PJ.
tsaka ano yun, 'di ba, ano, freeloader ka, hindi puwedeng gano'n.
Oo.
Hindi nakakahiya yun, lalo na kung nakatapos ka, 'di ba?
Mm.
Tapos ginapang ka sa lusak ng mga magulang mo para makapagtapos, tapos gano'n ka
Wala
lang
kang
lang,
maibibigay, oo, tanggap ka pa rin ng
'di ba?
tanggap, wala kang bigay,
Oo,
'wag naman
puro
gano'n.
kakabig. Huwag tayong sakim, mag-share tayo. Kasi ang blessing parang ilog 'yan, parang tubig, parating nagfo-flow. Ngayon
Mhm.
kung barado ka, matutuyot ka. Ngayon
Yes.
kung magfo-flow naman 'yan, 'yun, "Uy, merong grain, fully bus,
Oo, sabi dito
death
ni
of
Gray
gratitude."
Fullbuster, debt of gratitude it is. Oo, we have to agree
Yes,
to that. Oo,
mm,
yung mga anak sa mga magulang. And you know what, to tell you honestly guys, ito hindi 'to sasabihin sa inyo ng magulang niyo 'to or even your lolos and
mm,
lolas. Kapag may dala ka sa kanila, whatever it is, form of money or
mm.
goods, tas sasabihin nila, "Ay naku anak, ay naku apo, hindi ka na dapat nag-abala pa." Alam
Pero
niyo,
pumuputok yung ano niya,
pakipot
yung
oo,
puso niya.
pakipot lang sila pero deep inside their hearts, tuwang-tuwang-tuwang-tuwa sila kasi they know that they have raised you well and you know how to look back.
'Yun,
Debt of gratitude,
totoo 'yan.
gaya nga ng sabi ni Gray.
Pero i-keep natin in mind ang debt of gratitude ngayon is labor of love. Again,
Mhm,
kasi baka isipin yung duty ko yun. Ay, baka kasi may sabihin si mama 'pag hindi ganito, hindi gano'n.
hmm,
Dapat labor of love pa din. Kasi
mhm,
dapat everything should be organic, it should be given freely. Kasi kapag
mhm.
hindi maganda, 'di ba? Kahit naman sa mangga na hilak na ano, na kalburo pinilit sa hinog,
Kalburo,
hindi
oo.
masarap, 'di ba? Oh, 'yan, hindi
Mm.
gano'n talaga, gano'n.
At saka 'pag
Okey,
napipilitan ka lang magbalik sa parents mo, magsasawa ka, eh. Pero if it's
oo,
natural for you to do that, mag-e-enjoy ka lang.
mm.
Kasi nakikita mo
Oo,
napapasaya mo sila.
true.
'Yan,
Oo,
and sabi nga dito ni Larissa De Leon Dizon, saka if you share sa household budget, 'wag na magsalita ng negative kasi parang utang na loob pa yung pag-share. God loves a cheerful giver. Exactly. Huwag
perfect,
sumbat
yes.
ng sumbat.
Oo, at saka tandaan natin na kapag katulad ng sinabi ko, it's like a river that flows. Kapag na na nag naging hindi ka nagfo-flow, maka-cut ka, matutuyo
Mhm,
ka. Ay, hindi pala good channel of blessing itong si ano.
mm,
'Yan, iba-block na ni Lord yung ano mo, yung blessing mo. Hindi ka na magfo-flow. Ano mangyayari, matutuyo ka, magiging parang putik na natuyo, ganyan. Pero kapag ano, nagfo-flow ka, eh di continuous ang flow ng blessing. Oo.
mhm.
Pero
Alright,
ano,
so that is number 9, some
yan,
Filipino
yan.
ay, go ahead, sir.
Go lang,
Ano?
go. Hindi, go lang.
Hindi, so
Kasi
that's number 9
baka
nga. Some Filipino parents treat their children as insurances. We're not saying everyone or every parent does this. It's just that some. Ngayon, as children naman, if you think it's time for you to give back, don't hesitate. Parents, nasa pagpapalaki po yan ng ating mga anak para makapagbigay din sila sa atin uh, with
huwag
their
tayo
own will.
name-measure.
Hindi,
Oo,
oo. Sa will
Huwag nating
nila, dahil
i-pressure.
sa pagmamahal nila.
Organic,
Okay.
balik tayo sa pagiging
Mhm.
organic. Dapat natural
Oo,
lang. Natural
oo.
trait nila ang magbigay. Kung pinalaki mo silang
Mm.
maramot, ay good luck na lang sa'yo, 'di ba?
Yes. As much as possible as
Pero
parents, tayo po ang may obligasyon, responsibilidad para sa kapakanan at paglago ng buhay ng ating mga anak.
sa well-being ng mga anak natin.
Mhm.
Holistic well-being, 'yan.
Yes. Ayan. So
Move
that's
on na
number
tayo 'no?
9. Oo. But before we go to number 8, a quick hello lang sa lahat ng nanonood sa atin kasi hindi ko sila nag-greet kanina. Jan Pangan from Taiwan, Team C, Hoku, hello sa inyo, ni hao. And then Bot Fan Kobila Celino is also watching. Dawi Pascual Yusi, hello. Mami Marilyn Sato
Hello,
from
hello.
Japan, hello. Bianca O, hello my dear. Kelly Miranda Ramos is also watching. Justin Timothy Lalu, hello cuz. Paper Money. Lay Alfaro Jeronimo, hello Lay. Ma'am Murphy is here. Rodrigo Rosales Osorio is also watching. Kate is watching as well. Jeneline De Ramos Hemino from Laguna is watching us too. Hello, Jeng. Renji Manlaki Perez. Hello, Renji. Thank you for joining us. Azel Tala Garcia. Ate Azel, thank you so much. Tita Ryan Macapagal is also here. Bernadette Lapos Lasatin, my auntie. Hello, Tita. Mady Rose Beltran. CJ Aquino De Vero. Tenten Quito are also here. Hello. Layrich Robinson, hello to you. Ira Jessery Biluan is also watching. Hello, my dear. Larissa De Leon Dizon, Erickson Mendez, Hardy Basilio, Nechiwu, Annabelle Nukum Samson, from I think Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken, is also watching. Maria Teresa Ibanez Boy is also watching. Ma'am Ken is also watching. Mary Teresa Quinto Lopez is also watching. John Patrick Lalo. Who else? Who else? Paul Henry Yap Kizon and Sir Denden Vash Rudin is also here. John Espera from Tondo. Tita Loretta Quinto. My mother-in-law, Lydia de Ramos Habon, is also watching from Makati. And Gray, Fullbuster, hello sa inyong lahat.
Hello. Grateful Buster is actually a character in fairy tale which I
Oh,
watched for a long time. Ang ganda
okay.
yan.
All right. Okay, now we are on the 8th na. It's crab mentality and
Oo.
somebody will join us too for this one. Please welcome to the stream, Sir Andrew De Luna. Hello, dude.
Hello, dude.
Hey.
Hello, Sir PJ. To all of our
Been a
listeners and
while.
viewers. Yeah, it's been a while. To all our listeners and viewers. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope all of you are all well, safe, and healthy.
Mhm.
Yun po. Sorry po na ngayon ako nakarating.
It's all right.
Uh,
It's all right.
It's okay.
anyways, sige ma'am, you may I'll just go through with it as you go along.
Oo,
Yeah.
may pahabol lang na comment ang aking mother-in-law. Ang sabi niya, ang parents nahihiyang manghingi sa anak pero tuwang-tuwa sila pag nabigyan at naabutan ng anak. And we've already mentioned that nga kanina
True.
na alam mo yun, pakipot lang sila na ayaw nila. But the truth is, kapag kusa talagang nagbigay yung anak, whether pera man yan, pasalubong, gift, or whatnot, malaking bagay at
Mm.
appreciation na talaga for the parents yon.
True. Tsaka yun nga, sinabi ko parang pumuputok yung puso nila sa saya.
Oo, yun. Kasi umaapaw. Alam
Yes.
nilang napaglaki
Mm.
nilang maayos yung mga anak nila.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Mama. All right, now we're on number 8, crab mentality. Okay? Crab mentality. Ano ba ito? Well, number 1, we resent others when they succeed. Number 2, we find skeletons in others' closets to tarnish their reputation. Number 3,
Mm.
we cannot be happy for others' accomplishments. And lastly, we feel that everyone is our competition. Crab mentality.
Mm.
When I posted a poll on Facebook, actually 2 people replied one of the most toxic, or if not the most toxic traits that we have as Filipinos, it's crab mentality. What's your take? Let's begin with Sergio dahil kasasalang mo lang. What's your take
True.
on crab mentality? And he's not moving. All right.
Nag-disconnect
Okay.
yata.
Yep.
Medyo nag-stuck up siya, no? May
Sir PJ,
technical
let's
issues yata.
Sir PJ, let's turn it to you. Crab
Yeah,
mentality.
yung first, and they resent others when they succeed. I think this all roots down to immaturity.
Mhm.
Siguro, you just can't handle. Kasi parang, again, kasi kino-compare mo yung sarili mo sa ibang tao. That's why
Mhm.
medyo may immaturities ka, kaya medyo hindi ka maging masaya sa success sa ibang tao. Mga gano'ng ano, hmm, the thing is, I think crab mentality can slowly you can slowly outgrow this. And sa akin, sa mga sa mga nakikita ko, mga experiences ko, I have seen many people na medyo crabby sila nung kami kabataan pa, mga nasa 20s kami. Pero nung
Mhm.
tumatanda siya, parang nagiging nagiging mature, they learn or they they learn how to be happy for others' success. And eventually, parang we grow out of it. Pero then again, meron mga taong stagnated na parang yun na yan, nag-fossilize na yung 'di ba sa linguistics,
Oo.
fossilize na, nag-ano na kasi
Established
yun na yun,
na.
established na yun na yun, mahirap ng basagin yun. Eh, yun na yun, siguro may mga depende lang talaga sa tao.
Mhm.
Pero again, kasi I think it boils down into identity crisis, eh. Kasi there was a time that we were trying to look for who we are. And sometimes we find ourselves in other people. Tapos pag nag-succeed yung isa na ay bakit siya nag-succeed ba't ako hindi? So hindi
Mhm.
ka maging masaya kasi nga naiinggit ka. So
Mhm.
again, boils down to immaturity and yun nga, identity crisis. I
Mhm.
think, pero
Yeah.
we can either outgrow this or meron din naman nag-fossilize, yun.
Yeah.
Which is
And according to Grateful Buster, he said the root of crab mentality is envy and jealousy. Like what you were saying, it's immaturity, it's jealousy, insecurity, comparison, comparing yourself to other
mm,
people. And I think you've mentioned the balance between trying to outgrow it if you can, or, it'll be fossilized if you will not fight it.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Yun nga.
Yeah. How about you, Sir Drew? What's your take on crab mentality being, we resent others when they succeed in their own endeavors in life?
Organize pala ng thoughts kapag nakaano ka, no? You're
Sige, busy
mentally
lang
and
yata
physically
niya.
exhausted. Um,
Okay.
ang nakikita ko sa sorry ha, kasi this is Filipino, so I'm delving not in my specialization, but rather in Filipino psychology. Meron kasi tayong kapasidad, tayong capacity to
Go ahead.
feel. Meron ang tawag natin doon is pakikiramdam. And ang pakikiramdam na yon, we have this heightened awareness and sensitivity with the people around us or even inclusively humans. So kapag naramdaman natin na, uy, bakit ang isang taong ito, meron siya na wala ako, then it might pivot in another, into layer. Could be, makikisama ka, dahil, ayun, we're able to get that. Nakikiramdam ka, so it's either makikisama ka, you are trying to uplift, appreciate yung kung anong taong yun, or at some point, try to pull that person down. Kasi meron kang isang bagay wala na instead na maging, kung mas ikasasaya mo na uh, mababa ang posisyon niya.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Okay?
To level him down to you, di ba?
So
Para pantay
kumbaga,
na kayo ulit.
yeah. So yung nakikita nating dynamic dito is that we become happy because of the parang
Their failures.
yung their failures, their downfalls, their defeats. Doon tayo nakikisama, pero hindi nakikipagkapwa-tao doon sa sitwasyon niya.
Nakiki.
Mm,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because behind their backs talaga parang masaya sila na defeated si kuya girl o si kuya or si
Oo.
ate, di ba? Ganon.
Parang
Na,
yun
Kasi
nga kasabihan na, go ahead, sorry.
Sige ma'am, before yun, kasi there's this understanding of kapwa. Kailangan
Mm-hmm.
in Filipino psychology, we always emphasize what kapwa is. And kapwa is uh, it could be mean differently in different contexts. So in the issue regarding crab mentality, kapwa then is more on understanding how we value a certain sense of shared humanity, something that we
Mm-hmm.
share in common. Kaya dun ang hindrance, no? Na kapag hindi mo ma-recognize or hindi ka naging mindful of um the success of others as also the success of you of yourself. Kapag hindi ka naging mindful doon, you na-divert yung yung values mo, na instead of being happy for that person, you prefer being resentful, you feel mag state of defeat, he's in a state parang nahihirapan siya, yung mga ganyan mga bagay. Think of the kontrabidas that we have in our teleseries. So
Mm-hmm.
makikita nyo dyan kung papaano yung dynamics ng, uy, kailangan nasa pinaka-inurak siya. Dapat napunta
Oo,
siya sa
ganun.
ganong sitwasyon.
Dapat,
Yeah.
gumapang siya sa lusa. Mga ganun.
Oo, tama. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
Okay.
was about to say kasi kanina na parang there's this saying na you really couldn't dim other people's light so that
True.
yours will shine brighter. Alam mo
Exactly.
yon? And I always believe in that saying na parang if you really want to shine bright on your own, but you don't have to dim other people's light para lang masabing bright
True.
yung light mo. Kasi if you're just, using other people's failures and weaknesses or you're trying to make them fail for you to succeed, it's a pointless kind of achievement. Kasi
Yeah.
you've achieved that by making others fail.
Yeah. True.
Diba? What's the sense of success in that? Where's the sense of success in that? You're not a fair player. Alam mo yon? You've gotten to where you are because you've cheated and whatnot. You've brought others down just so you could be lifted. So where's the point of really being successful in that? Diba? Seeing other
Tama.
fail so that you can succeed. Asan yung ano yung how do you call it? Asan yung fulfillment doon?
Oo, napaka-selfish lang, 'di ba, ng mindset na ganyan na
Mhm.
ako lang dapat ang manalo, ako lang dapat. And he doesn't want to share or she doesn't want to share. 'Di ba
Mhm.
parang bata. Very
Mhm.
childish.
And you have to admit it, nung tayo pa yung elementary, anong generation na
True.
tayo, this kind of toxic trait has been taught to us time immemorial.
True.
And hanggang ngayon, andyan pa rin siya. And I think it's one of the reasons why Filipinos are not
Don't
succeeding.
succeed.
Yeah.
We're not thriving as a country. True.
Yes, as a country, we're not thriving because when somebody succeeds, we think we're being left behind. And so that sabay-sabay
We'd
tayong
rather
lahat.
we'd
Yeah.
rather fail all. We'd rather that all of us fail than
Mhm.
just
One
a single
person
person.
succeed.
Yeah, oo, ganun sila.
Ganun
tayo.
tayo eh. And super toxic yon. Ako, I'm not really proud as a Filipino when it comes to that kind of attitude. Kasi, why can't we just be happy for others when they're successful? What is wrong with us? Diba?
Can we just be genuinely happy for people, 'di ba? Na parang, uy, ano sila, ay, galing naman ni ano siya. 'Di ba?
Mm-mm.
Wala namang masama doon. Again, it takes zero talent to be kind. 'Di
Yeah.
ba?
Ang dami. Sa iba't ibang aspeto. Like in business, for example, halimbawa may idea si businesswoman
Oo.
A, nakita ni businesswoman B, makikipag-compete siya. Fair competition, fair market. There's nothing wrong about that.
Tapos,
Pero pag
papasukan ng
nakita
crab
niyang
mentality.
pag nakikita niyang nagsasucceed si business A, gagawa niya ng kung
Siraan niya na,
ano-ano.
yan. Second line
Alam mo,
item.
'di ba? Why do we do that as Filipinos? What is wrong with us?
Maybe to
Diba?
answer that, maybe
Yes,
to
Sir
answer
Drew.
that,
Yeah.
madam, nagkukulang tayo kasi sa pakikiramdam.
Mhm.
By definition kasi, according to Enrique, my citation for today. According to,
Research-based.
yeah. Alam mo naman ako, ba sa psychology yung I have to, kailangan ko i-wagay-wagay ang aking bandila. Anyways, nagkukulang tayo sa pakikiramdam wherein, according to Enriquez, it is yung pagkilala sa loob ng isang tao. ko lang, nakakalimutan nating, uy, ano ang nararamdaman ng isang taong ito? Ano ang um,
Mm.
current situation niya? Ano ang nararamdaman ko base sa nangyayari sa taong ito? So, we in a nutshell, parang pwede mo sabihin, nakakalimutan mo maging mindful para sa ibang tao. So,
Or
the more that
nagiging
you
insensitive ka.
Yeah, yun yun. So kaya kapag nabawasan ng pagiging aware or mindful mo sa ibang tao, you're just circling around your own world na ikaw lang yun, ako lang to, ako mas importante, dapat yung iba mawala. So what do you do? If
Mhm.
someone comes above you, if someone is more superior, and ang kailangan mo na gawin is drag that person down. And for you, that something is worthwhile. Mas nagiging masaya na nakikita mo na nahihirapan ako ngayon.
Mhm. And I think that is selfishness. Alam mo yun? To be living in your own world without regard to how others might feel, kung saan ang ginagawa mo towards them. Kasi, sabi nga kanina Sir PJ, the term is cohabitation. You know, even if we have our own houses, we have our own lives to live, we have our own careers and whatnot, we have to coexist with other people. And if they're happy, if they're succeeding, if they're achieving, if they're, performing, dapat tayo yung nag-cheer sa kanila. Dapat tayo pa rin yung nagbo-boost sa kanila. Not go, push, go for that dream, achieve it, instead of telling them na hindi mo kaya yan, or it's not for you. Alam mo yon, nagiging nega tayo when it comes to others. Pero sa atin, sa mga sarili natin, gusto natin, binuboost nila tayo.
Which is a double standard, di ba?
Oo.
Tapos, gusto natin, tayo binuboost. Pero tayo mismo hindi nag-boost ng ibang tao. Well, I would say, you should give you try to give what you want. And parang parang reflection lang ng actions mo ang babalik sa'yo.
Mhm.
Kung gusto mo maging kind ang mga tao sa'yo, be kind. If you want understanding, you share understanding. If you want love, edi share love. It's just like that. Hindi naman
Mhm.
rocket science ang living in a
Mhm.
harmonious world, di ba? Medyo, sabi nga ni Drew, pakiramdaman lang. So, of course,
Mhm.
check mo din muna kung okay ka ba. Kasi, baka naman sa sarili mo, hindi ka pala okay. Dapat, organic na binibigay mo yung mga ganitong emotion kasi nag-well up sa'yo yan. Lumalabas talaga sa'yo ng pusa. Di
Yep.
ba? You can't give what you don't have. Di ba? Sabi nga.
Mhm. All right. So that is number 8, crab mentality, no? It's
Like,
matagal na tong trait na to. So
oo,
please, yung new
masakit sa
generation natin
damdamin yan.
ngayon, please, wag nyo nang manahin sa mga
True.
naunang generation. As much as possible, try not to be crabs. Cheer other people when they're succeeding. Be happy for their
Yeah.
success. Okay? Don't try to bring them
Meron,
down.
merong comment dito, Mamba mentality is better than crab mentality. Walang naisingit lang po. Okay. Ano ba yun?
That's from
Ano ba yun?
John Espera from Tondo. Mamba mentality, it's Kobe Bryant's mentality. May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maisingit
I'm
lang
not a
daw.
fan of it, sorry.
Yeah. Hello, John. Thank you for joining the live once again. He's from
Yeah, thank
Tondo.
you.
Ayan, salamat ng marami. So I think, it's important that we've raised crab mentality, especially now that we are facing a lot of problems. Instead of, sharing negativity to one another, let's be each other's hype person. Okay? Support lang natin ng isa't isa, and who knows, when somebody succeeds, yung taong yon, if he or she received a lot of support, ibabalik din niya yung support na yon, and it will be a ripple effect. Kasi crab mentality is a ripple effect in itself. Negative nga lang. But if we show support, if we show admiration, if we show this and that, it'll be a ripple effect too. And eventually, kapag nag-succeed ang isa, everybody will follow as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So, next time,
And now, let's move to number 7. Ay, ito. Medyo mai-stress ako ng bonggang-bongga dito. This is one of my pet peeves. Filipino time. My gosh. All right. What do we mean when we say Filipino time? We tolerate laziness and being late. We cannot
Mm.
respect other people's time. We cannot start or process work on time. And we have so many excuses. You guys take it away. Filipino time.
Go ahead, Drew.
um, siguro, ang hirap talaga
Parang may
mag-pass
na-late
information.
kanina.
So,
Ay, nalit.
Parang may na-late
so,
kanina.
um, in
Mm.
our defense, una-una sa lahat, not all Filipinos are usually late. I mean, promise, hindi lahat.
Ay, yes.
Okay?
Oo naman.
There are still people who still arrive punctually sa kanilang meetings. Although na-embed na kasi sa cultura or not even in cultural identity natin, it's really a
Mhm.
stereotype to Filipinos. It should not be a stereotype globally, but within our local, sa Philippines mismo, alam natin kung anong ibig sabihin ng Filipino time. Now,
Mhm.
let me go back memory lane kasi kapag sabi mo, at some point, historians are able to consider, the reason why merong ganitong konsepto is that historians say that yung back dun sa idea natin ng siesta by the Spaniards,
Ah,
still, up until now, present. So kapag
Mhm.
historical
nasa
context.
parang, oo, so mahilig tayo magpahinga, kumbaga. So,
Mhm.
mas priority natin
Dilly-dallying.
yung,
Dilly-dallying.
yeah, we dilly-dally. It's okay to take it slow, step by step, and then eventually, kailangan natin mag-grab, mag-jump forward. Pero marami kasi factors that are attributed to being late in the Philippines. So, kaya hindi natin pwedeng masabi kaagad-agad na, uy, isa siyang, kumbaga,
Opposite ito.
kumbaga part na talaga siya sa atin. Pwede mo kasi consider, for instance, we have a very, I mean, to be practical, ang traffic sa atin, kakaiba. Pag sinabi mong traffic, as in traffic talaga yan. Alam natin naging teacher tayo kapag nasabi ng bata na, uy, sir, ma'am, sir, traffic po kasi kaya hindi po ako nakapasok ng maaga. And then, syempre sa atin, yung kilay na nasa seventh heaven na, kine-question na po, seryoso, na-late ka dahil sa traffic. So, pero yun nga, kailangan pa rin natin siyang i-consider sa ganung lagay. Kasi maraming factors on why we experience being late. Okay? For now, yun na.
Yeah, there are actually many factors, of course. Ang take ko naman dito is, merong studies na late people tend to be successful daw and creative. Kasi merong tawag dito, may study na nagsasabi na, if I'm not mistaken, which side of the brain is creative, pag dominant yung side ng
I think
brain?
it's the right one.
Right.
The right one,
Right
right?
siya.
Right or left? Basta ganon. So, yung yung mga tendency daw ng mga right brain dominant people, like, they tend to be late because they daydream. We
Mhm.
daydream. Sorry, pero yes. Parati ako late and I know to myself na, oh my God, parating nga ako nagde-daydream, nagde-dilly-dallying. I'm guilty of all that. I think it's not just a Filipino trait, but I think maraming countries around the world na merong ganitong trait. And I don't consider it like really toxic. Depende sa gravity ng late mo. Kung
Mhm.
15 minutes, 30 minutes, that's fine. Pero kung 3 hours, oh my goodness, 'di ba? Tumawag ka, mag-text ka, hindi aantayin ka, masasayang yung oras mo, 'di ba?
Yep.
Yun ang
I
ano,
think what we're trying to say here, when we say Filipino time, it's really the collective attitude of Filipinos when it comes to how they treat time. Kasi parang ako, ang pananaw ko, nakikita ko, para siyang naging part ng pop culture na kapag hindi ka late, hindi cool. Alam mo yon, it's
may
like it's
gano'n ba?
become so natural na kapag sinabi mong 8:00, okay, automatic, that's 10 a.m. If you go there at 8 p.m., ano ka, ang naive
You're
mo
gonna wait.
talaga.
You're gonna wait,
'Di
'di
ba? Ang
oo nga,
naive
eh.
mo. So parang para sa akin, it's being taken too lightly to the point na nai-a-apply na siya sa ibang context. Like for example, when it comes to friends, probably it's tolerable that some of our friends come in late or that we are late. But when it comes to professional context, we might transfer that kind of
Yeah,
attitude and we could not
dapat
reason
hindi.
out anymore na parang it was traffic, I woke up late, I was daydreaming like
Especially
you
in
said.
class.
Yeah.
Especially in
So,
class kasi we're training them to be professionals. Kaya nasa seventh heaven na
oo.
talaga ang kilay ni Ma'am Sir, 'di ba?
Oo, 'di ba? So,
Ganyan talaga tayo, mm.
yeah, the concern here talaga is if it's, the casual kind of relationship that you have, friends, families, of course they will understand if you were late. But if you are dealing with other professionals, other people, like in a
Yeah,
meeting, late ka, in an interview, late ka, submission ng requirement, late ka. The question
may
is,
something
what
na yan.
what are you doing? Why cannot you
Yeah.
manage your time properly so you could, provide all that's required from you on time? And
Mm.
here's my other concern pa. Bakit sa Pilipinas, ang Pinoy, madalas, late. But once they
Ano,
start working in other countries, hindi naman sila late.
true.
Why are we doing it
Yeah,
in our own culture?
Um,
yeah.
siguro ma'am, kasi I was able to catch something with Sir PJ's statement, putting them together. Mahilig tayo sa mga dramatic entrances. Mahilig tayong parang, uy, it's okay to be late kasi dapat I need to show what I'm wearing. I need to show who
Mhm.
I am. Pero the downside is, yes, you came in fashionably late, but no one is there to look at you.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
Pero yun, or if
Yeah.
not all gone, they are not putting so much attention on you. So, alam mo yun, point of being late kung ganun yung case. So, let's try to level the playing field once again. What we're saying here is that being late is never a good thing. Yun yung nakuha ko kay V, na if you have some requirements, if you have some appointments, important, urgent things to consider, try not to conform, or no, not try, do not conform with the of being.
Mm.
Okay? Ganun natin siya kailangan bigyan ng emphasis. What's sad kasi dito is, it's even, well, I'm not sure sa ibang bansa ha, pero ang nakakasad kasi dito, it's already labeled as Filipino time.
Yep.
Even though I haven't seen any literature yet that said, uy, there is such thing as a Filipino time. Kasi sa ibang
Mm.
bansa, if it's you're late. Ganun na simple yun. So,
Mhm.
I just need to change the system that we are in and try not to
Mhm.
avoid, or try to not come when we have certain matters to consider. Okay?
Yep.
Mm.
We need to
It
exemplify. Tama
depends.
yung sinabi ni Sir PJ kanina na kailangan natin siyang i-model at some point. We need to exemplify punctuality. Whether it's from, especially sa atin, kung if we are teaching kids,
Yeah.
we need to come in late. I mean, we need to come in early,
Come
not
on time. Yeah.
we need to come in
Yeah,
on
we need
time.
to be on time.
Okay?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, guys, I would love to share my ideas some more, pero I have to go.
Yeah, I
Again,
know. I understand. Well, thank you, Sir PJ, for joining us. Your inputs are
yeah,
valuable. And thank you for making time for us, for this
yeah.
panel.
Let's do it again next time.
Yes.
Ghosting.
Yeah, like what we talked about, November issue. It's gonna be
Yeah, November
ghosting,
issues.
definitely.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
talk
Thank you
again next
very
time.
much, Sir PJ.
Toodaloo.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye. Have a great night.
Toodles!
All right, he's gonna work, but anyway, really appreciate him staying with us until this hour. And yes, we have a comment right here from Grateful Buster. He said, "Pag sinabing OTW or on the way, naliligo pa. Hashtag Filipino time." Yes, and it's annoying. Like sabi ko nga, this is one of my pet peeves. Kasi ako, when you tell me 7 a.m., I am there 7 a.m. It's rare that I am late. Really. Kung talagang na-stuck na lang ako sa traffic or, I have a valid reason, that's the only time I'll be late. Anything I try to, come up with, I don't know, projects, activities, really before the deadline. Kasi ayokong inaantay ako. Naturally, I don't like people waiting for me. Okay? It's really a difficult, trait to correct if, if you think it's wrong. But I don't know really why we are like this. We have a greeting right here from John Ives Yamzon, and he said, hello. Hello to. Also
Hello
want to say
po.
hello to Doc Reggie Osenya Cruz, who's watching us right now. Charles Cabrera. My mom, Karina Pineda, is also watching. My ninang, Loretta Malaluan, is also watching. Hello. And Larissa
Hello
Dizan
po.
said, minsan 15 minutes before para hindi masira yung oras ng taong ka-meet up. Oo, we have to show up din naman before the time that we've agreed on. Para alam mo yon, kasi nga, minsan sa job interview, tinuturo natin sa mga bata, you have to go to the site a lot earlier than the time para makapag-freshen up ka pa, makapag-rehearse ka pa ng responses mo. It's the same thing when meeting people, your friends, or whosoever. Magbigay ka ng allowance, some time for you to breathe. Hindi yung pagdating mo, hulas na hulas ka. Tumakbo ka kasi ayaw mong malate. And, the discomfort is there kasi nagmamadali kang makipag-meet and whatnot. And I think the bottom line here really, when it comes to Filipino time, is our ability to respect others' time. Hindi naman yung oras natin eh. Kasi lalong-lalo na kung nakapag-agree na tayo on a certain time, tapos hindi tayo nagpakita, tapos yung taong yon nag-set aside siya ng ibang schedule. I think that's the problem eh. Yung hindi natin nire-respect yung oras ng taong kausap natin. We don't give value to their time. Without even realizing na itong taong to baka super busy, ang daming ginagawa, pero nag-set aside siya ng time for you. 'Di ba? So, wag nating gawing
Tama yun.
mababaw lang na, Filipino time. Natural na sa atin 'tong mga Pilipino, maiintindihan na ni sir kung late ako, maiintindihan na ng friend ko kung late ako. Maiintindihan nila, yes, but it is still annoying.
Mhm.
'Di ba?
It's
So,
also measure character as well kasi
mhm,
na if you come in late, does that mean that then yung pagpapasa ng requirements in certain events, will it also be the same? Lalo na first time mo makilala ang tao, tapos ganun ang naging reaction mo sa kanya. Okay?
mhm,
So, I agree sa sinabi mo, V, na kailangan mo irespeto yung ginawang pag-reserve oras ng taong yun para makipagkita sa'yo or makasama ka. Diyan natin
mm,
papasok ulit yung sinabi na kailangan makiramdam. Ang
mhm,
pakikiramdam kasi sa kapwa mo, yun. As much as it is actually a Filipino trait, it is something that is really it is in our blood. Unfortunately, as we see generation after generation, we somehow it's somehow a hit or miss.
mhm.
Nabawasan yung mga taong, nagkakaroon ng empathy, nagkakaroon ng tamang self awareness sa bawat isa.
Yep, it's really being sensitive to others, respecting others para hindi tayo nakakaperwisyo din ng ibang tao. And we have a comment right here from Grateful Buster. He said, better 3 hours too soon than a minute too late, as others say. Yep. And then he added, one way of showing respect to people is valuing their time. And yes, we have to agree to that. Definitely. Oo. Especially kung yung taong kausap mo, nag-travel ng sobrang haba, alam mo yun, just to meet you. Nag-prepare, alam mo yun, naligo on time, nag-prepare, nagbihis, lahat kumain or nag-skip man ng breakfast. And then you have the audacity to tell the person, hey, I'm sorry, I'm late. I woke up late. Nag-breakfast pa ako. Were you waiting for me? I'm like, really? Diba? The audacity. You don't know the sacrifices or the process of preparation ng taong yon, and yet you have the audacity to be late. Imagine that kind of disappointment, right? Ayan, sabi ni Ma'am Ken dito, if you can't be there on time, be there before time. Haha, there's a laughing icon right there.
Definitely, yeah.
Exactly. Mm-mm. Kaso kasi we stick to this kind of concept eh. It's better late than never. Said who? Di ba? Yun yung paniniwala natin. Late ako. At least I showed up. Really? And what if your presence is no longer needed at the time you showed up? Tapos na ang meeting. At least nagpass ako kahit late na. Hindi na yun yung deadline eh. Irrelevant na yung pinagod mo. Di ba? So you really
Tama.
have to be conscious. Conscious sa oras mo at lalong-lalo na sa oras ng ibang tao. And then we have another comment right here. And we don't know na they have other engagements pala after that meeting. Very unprofessional din kasi. Ahaha. True. Diba? Hindi mo alam yung calendar ng tao. So you really have to show up dun sa time na napag-usapan ninyo. Okay. And I want to say hello to Sir Sailor Cliff Conan. Hi, Sir Cliff. Thank
Hi,
you for
Sir Cliff.
joining us. Ayon. So that is Filipino time. I know it's really not a big deal when it comes to it being a toxic trait, but it might have a huge impact when it comes to some contexts like professional dealings. Right? So be very careful.
Tama yun.
And that is number 7, Sir Drew. Now we are down to number 6. Oh my gosh. Procrastination or mañana habit. We tend to do things mamaya na. I'd rather do things mamaya na because, my creative juices, they flow kapag nararush ako. So what does procrastination mean or the mañana habit? We like doing things when we are pressured by time or deadline. We cannot prioritize and we tend to put aside obligations for latter actions or attention. We are lazy.
Mhm.
Your take on this, procrastination or the mamayana habit?
Yung sa akin, affected ako sa ganyang mindset or yung mindset ng mga bata, yung mga students. Kasi parang, I think you know this, yung explanation. Kasi mas nakakapag-focus ako kapag na-rush ako. The downside of that is, or the upside, dun muna tayo sa upside. Parang, ang benefit nun is that if you have the information somehow is easy to recall. It's acceptable, ganun mangyari. But, if you had the same exam a week after, dyan tayo magkakaroon ng problem. Kasi, nirush mo ang sarili mo, so there is no proper consolidation or proper understanding mo ng content. So, ano sinasabi ko dito? It affects how we try to, for students in particular, ito yung lagi ko pong yung hugot sa mga students na wag niyong rush ang sarili mo na heightened lahat ang nararamdaman ninyo na you are in fight mode lagi. Na wala namang kailangan ikasta. There is, kaso lang, it's minimal. It's not a life or death situation. Kaya, there's this understanding dapat na kailangan kong magawa to. Sabi ko nga ito yung number 1 ko sinasabi sa students, lalo na sa online. You need to understand the context of urgent. Parang, all of the things that you do are priorities. But among all of these, which one is important? Kailangan mo yun dyan. Huwag mo sabihin na, saka na. Hindi. Lahat ng yan priorities. Pero, unahin mo kung alin yung mas kailangan mong matapos, mas malapit na yung deadline, and so forth. Huwag na yung saka na. Ito na lang. Kakain muna ako, tutulog na ako. Okay? It's that love toxicity, it might not be passed on to others, but the toxicity is actually affecting you. And that's not a good thing. It's the more that you feel stressed, the more that you feel na hindi ka komportable, lalo na kapag nandoon ka na sa moment na kailangan nang i-submit talaga siya, parang minutes, seconds na lang, magpapas ka na lang. Pero, alam mo yun, your blood is pumping, everything is, you're sweating, yun na, naka-fight mode ka. So, instead of doing that, do it in advance. I mean, do it before. I-plan mo ng maayos ang schedule mo. Okay? Kasi it's your well-being yung kailangan mo i-prioritize din. Hindi lang yung mga activities na kailangan i-iun.
Yep, I have to agree. And this concept of procrastination or mañana habit, I think it's really a matter of preference, if not preference, personality. Kasi nga sabi mo, may mga taong they do better when they procrastinate, while others prefer to have a lot of time on their hands before they accomplish something. Like in my case, I couldn't really procrastinate. Kasi I'm the perfectionist type. So gusto ko, nare-review ko yung mga bagay-bagay before I submit things or before I do things. While others, when they procrastinate, dun talaga lumalabas yung creative juices nila and yung fuel nila. 'Di ba? Parang
Tama.
the pressure is on. So bring it on. Game
Yeah.
on. Dito ko nararamdaman to. I'm fired. I'm fueled. I'll do it.
Yeah.
5 minutes, no problem. May mga ganon. But then, it doesn't really matter kung ganun ka or hindi ka. What matters is sino ba yung kadil mo. Kasi, if the person you're dealing with requires something from you on a certain given time and here you are procrastinating, medyo you are in the danger zone. Or, ito pa yung tendency, if you procrastinate, magpa-pile up yan. And you've mentioned the word urgency. So sa dinami-dami ng mga dinidelay mong kailangan mong gawin, alin ngayon ang uunahin mo kasi dinelay mo silang lahat? 'Di ba? So I think we go back to number 1, listing your priorities, alin ba dapat ang unahin, kailan sila dapat gawin, and so forth. 'Di ba? Kasi ikaw din yung mahihirapan kapag nag-pile up 'yan tapos sabay-sabay ang deadline, even if you're a good procrastinator and even if your creative juices, come out when they're needed, necessarily needed, kapag nagsabay-sabay yan, I don't think you can handle everything at once unless you're Superman or Superwoman. 'Di
But
ba?
you're not. But you're not.
But you're not.
Let's level that.
You are just human.
Human.
Superman or Superwoman, you're just human. So, think about it that way. Procrastination, it's sometimes a good thing. Alam mo yon? Kasi it shows how you could be creative given a little amount of time and how you could adjust to the situation given the amount of time that you have left on your hands. It's sometimes a good thing. But sa malaking concept of procrastination, it might have negative effect on you as an individual.
Siguro ma'am, just to clarify that para hindi kasi my end kasi I really to enforce procrastination a positive thing or a good thing. Siguro it's better to name it as being able to be exhibit grace under pressure.
Mm.
To understand resilience, yeah, being flexible. Yeah, and I think those are positive words to consider rather than saying, "Uy, okay lang tayo dito sa learn with me or ask with me na, uy, okay lang mag-procrastinate." Nope.
It's not okay to procrastinate.
It's not. But if you are in a situation that you are feeling pressured, but alam mo naman na kayang-kaya mong i-over yung na-feel mong pressure na yun, then you're exhibiting a certain level of self-efficacy as well as resilience. More
Yeah.
so grit. Those are the positive kailangan nating i-get sa ganitong topic. Okay?
Yeah. Well, you know yourself better than we do and anybody else. So, if you're a good procrastinator, go ahead, procrastinate as long as you can manage. But then again, if you think you're running out of time and there are a lot of things to accomplish, we highly suggest do not procrastinate. Now we have a comment right here from Larissa De Leon Dizan. She said, I gotta admit, I'm guilty with this kind of trait. Sometimes kasi, there are times na wala talaga lumalabas na idea. Pero syempre, we have to manage our time. I.e., you have other things to do. Tapusin na muna yung mga yon para pag ready ka na, at least you won't rush things. Yes. Urgency, like what Sir Drew said. Prioritize what needs to be done first. If you can set aside other things, for those creative juices to come out eventually, then you have, some time. Diba? But if, go ahead.
Gusto ko pagkakasabi niya na kapag ready ka na. And I think that's something that we also consider. Kasi if you try to force yourself, kahit na alam mong, uy, let's do this, I'll try to force myself to finish this. Pero the quality that you make hindi at par sa standards. It might not. It's not a good reflection of your capabilities. So only also consider kung ready ka na talaga. Okay?
And also, there's this concept then yung mga last-minute changes, minsan yun yung mga magical moments eh.
Okay.
Yung ang tagal-tagal mo siyang dinevelop 1 month, tapos papas mo na lang siya or gagawin mo na lang siya and then split second, no, I have to change this. And then that's the magic. There's the magic.
That's the of not procrastination, but the beauty of resilience. Na
Yeah.
you're able to open up a lot of these super submerged ideas, yung nabaon na ideas, na all of a sudden,
Uh,
eto, lumalabas yung creative juices ko, and is that a good thing? Yes, kasi um nagiging sharp kasi yung brain natin during that time. And that's very important. When you're procrastinating, you have so many ideas or thoughts in your head, and it's clouded, and you don't know which one should be the first thing that you should do. Okay? So,
Yes.
kaya yun nga, basta ang lesson nyo lang dito, avoid, stop if do not procrastinate. Yun ang sasabihin ko dyan.
Yeah.
This is a shout out to my students na if they're watching right now, please.
Uh-huh. Do
Do
not
not.
procrastinate. Yeah.
Maawa kayo sa sarili nyo.
Uh-oh. But as a general rule of thumb, as much as possible, try to correct this toxic trait. Do not procrastinate. But if yun na lang talaga yung last, solution, wala kang magawa, you have a lot of things to do going on, mag-procrastinate ka, but do it sparingly. Wag namang araw-araw. Wag
Araw-araw.
naman
Oo,
palagi.
yun.
Oo. Diba? Pag lang kailangan na lang talaga. Alright? So that is what number is that? 6. We're halfway through.
6
Yeah,
pa lang
6.
yun.
Yeah, that's number 6. We still have 5 more. That's why I'm rushing into things. No, but before we go to number 5, again, if you have valuable thoughts to chip in, do not hesitate to type your comments and share to everyone your opinions on the matter. And time check, it is already 9:12, and this is another live stream episode of Ask V, just in case you've just tuned in. And we are on the topic Top 10 Toxic Filipino Traits. Let us now discuss the second half of the list, beginning with number 5. Let me up that one right here. Ito. Magagaling tayo dito. Going around the rules and lack of discipline. What do I mean by this? When we get caught in a sticky situation, we make excuses. We break the rules. We use padrinos and fixers. We do things beyond the table or, below the table to get things done for us. Okay, speeding ticket. Boss, jeep. Maaga pa eh. Baka naman, boss, jeep. No crossing. Use the pedestrian lane. Who cares? Let's jaywalk. Padrinos, tito, kailangan ko ng ganito. Baka naman pwede sa office mo. Why? Ito ang 5,000. Paki-expedite ang process. Why do we do this, people? Enlighten me. Kasi ako, I've always been disciplined when it comes to, alam mo yan, dude, when we cross
I
Genera
know.
Mall.
I know.
Hindi mo ako mapipilit na dumaan kung hindi pedestrian lane yan. And even the process, hindi ko siya ina-expedite. If I have to go through hell just to get something, I'll go through hell. But I don't understand why some people choose the easier way around. Wala tayong disiplina when it comes to this. Your thoughts?
You just said the proper word to explain it. We want things to be easy. We don't want things to be so complicated and very difficult to go through. Pero the ironic part o yung mas nakakainis na ang dali-dali na nga ng instruction, ang dali-dali na nga ng dapat gawin, pero mahirap pa. yun yung isang pet peeve ko kasi. Alam mo, binigay ko na yung dapat na ibigay, binigay ko ng instruction na sobrang dali para intindihin, pero di mo pa rin alam mo, why? Kasi we're trying to find a way to make our life easier.
Yes.
If not easier, the least amount of effort that we could exert. Yun tayo kasi naka-cling in. Ayaw nating magpagod, ayaw nating exert ng maraming oras,
Effort,
panahon, natin yung mga yun. So sabi ko sa example mo kanina, bakit kailangan ko pang pumunta ng pedestrian? Eto ang luwag, ang open ng kalsada.
Oo,
'di ba? Tara na, go
di
na.
Wala ko sasakasaan, titigil naman sila.
Tama, 'di ba? Pero yun nga, we instead of doing things right, we prefer something that is more within the bounds of our comfort and convenience.
Yeah, convenience, true. And it's not really a good trait to possess kasi we're just showing that for one, we don't have the discipline to obey orders or to follow rules. Diba? Or protocol, yung parang gumagawa
Mhm.
tayo ng sarili nating batas because we think we deserve so. Halimbawa, pag pupunta
Mhm.
tayo sa mga agency or offices, ganito yung protocol nila. Magrereklamo tayo, bakit hindi ganito? Bakit hindi ganon? Agency nga nila yun eh. They have their own protocol. Ikaw ang may kailangan. So, ikaw ang mag-a-adjust sa protocol nila, di ba?
Ayun.
But, I feel like as Filipinos, we have that tendency nga to, find convenience in everything. Kaya kahit mali na, ginagawa pa rin natin. Di ba? Or pag nagkakamali tayo, we're caught red-handed, speeding, o kaya no turning left, no whatever, nahuli ka na. Ikaw pa tong galit. I saw this video one time on YouTube. Siya na yung nahuli na wala yatang helmet or bawal yata ang angkas and something. Siya pa tong nagalit sa police officer. I'm like,
Yeah.
honey.
I heard
Diba,
what
parang
you're doing, yeah.
medyo nakakairita kasi yung ganun. Ang toxic lang na, can you not just say, sorry po, I know I did bad. Ano pong kailangan nating gawin? Do we have to go to jail now? Ikukulong niyo po ba kami? Alam mo yon, just follow the protocol because if you're following the protocol, it means you're honoring and respecting the rules that surround you.
Pero take note, dude, ha? Take note. I'll be using one of your examples na sabi mo kanina. Kapag nasa
Oh.
ibang bansa tayo, we will have a sense of discipline. Di ba?
Explain that to me. Enlighten me. Why? Why
Diba?
do we do that?
Di ba?
Bakit
Kasi,
ganyan tayo sa mga sarili natin?
we're not in the comfort of our own home. Wala tayo sa sariling buran natin. Okay?
Mhm.
So, kapag nandito sa Pilipinas, the entire nation is our home.
Yeah.
So, parang alam mo, I'm here in the Philippines. I'm a Filipino citizen, so I can do whatever I want. But we forget the idea or the notion. Follow rules. We follow
Yeah.
laws. We have
Mhm.
these kinds of protocols that we need to consider. Okay?
Mhm.
Kasi for example, when you go to Singapore, iba yung protocol doon. Similar when you
Yep.
go to Hong Kong or similar to when you go to the East. They have a different set of protocols and yet we follow them. But in our own, sa sariling
Mhm.
bakuran natin, hindi rin ginagawa.
Oo.
Diba?
Wala tayong takot pag nasa Pilipinas tayo, pero pag nasa ibang bansa tayo, yes po, yes po, yes po,
Yeah.
palagi tayo sa
Diba?
kanila, 'di ba?
Diba?
And yun yung medyo nakakalungkot doon. Kasi
Mhm.
look at this analogy. Sa bahay mo may batas. I'm not trying to be Kim Chu, ah. Sa bahay mo may batas.
Dahil ako doon.
No offense. No offense to Kim.
Di ako ready.
No offense to Kim or whatsoever. Just trying to make analogy, no? Sa bahay mo nga merong batas. Ang batas na 'yon, bawal magtapon ng basura. But you're not obeying that rule. Tapon ka pa rin ng tapon ng basura everywhere sa bahay mo. Pagdating mo sa bahay ng kaibigan mo, meron ding similar rule. Bawal magtapon ng basura dito. And hindi ka nagtatapon kasi you respect the house of your friend. You respect your friend and you respect the rules. Ang question ko dito, bakit kaya mong respetuhin ang bahay, batas at ibang tao at hindi mo kayang respetuhin yung sarili mong bahay at sarili mong batas? Di ba nga mas dapat nirerespeto mo yung sarili mong pamamahay, sarili mong batas kasi taga doon ka. Di ba? So I think this kind of mentality sa ating mga Pinoy, ito rin yung isa sa mga dapat nating baguhin kasi it's toxic, really. Nakakainis. Nakakainis siya sa totoo lang. Parang ang galing-galing nating suportahan ng ibang bansa, ang mga protocol nila, ang mga batas nila, and lumalago sila because we are showing discipline. Pero pagdating sa sarili nating bansa, wala tayong disiplina. Tapos, i-blame natin si ganito, yung ganyan. But in ourselves, deep within us, what are we doing as citizens? We're not even following the basic of the basics. Diba? Pagdaan na lang.
Concern. Hindi malam. Pagdaan na lang.
Pagdaan na lang, hindi pa natin magawa ng tama. Diba? Pagtapon na lang ng basura sa tamang lugar, hindi pa natin magawa ng tama. Bawal dumura, pero ginagawa pa rin natin. O, bawal ng gum sa daan, tinatapon pa rin natin yung gum sa daan. Bawal ang red tape, may red tape. Okay? I-process ang mga papel within 7 working days or 5 working days, umaabot ng 1 buwan. What is wrong? Ang simple lang naman ng batas, but we couldn't follow it. It's been a collective mistake or trait. Hindi lang isa o dalawang tao. It's been a collective trait since we could remember.
Maybe from what you said, it's a collective trait. We could consider how we are able to conform and at the same time, you're also disciplined sa sarili nating bahay.
Mhm.
Kasi those two things, they somehow interact. Eh,
Mhm.
sabihin natin, it's accepted that everything starts at home. So kapag
Mhm.
maayos kang pinalaki and na, for example, yung ang example mo na yung pagtatapon ng basura, if na-establish mo yun ng maayos at an early age, naitanim mo na yun sa bata. Ngayon,
Yes.
ang mga taong nakapaligid sa kanya. Ngayon, kung ang mga taong nakapaligid ay hindi na-train or walang awareness kailangan gawin yun, then you are now prone to the idea now, should I follow the great majority?
Mhm.
Yan. So ganyan,
Oo.
ganyan yung laban ng, kasi sabi, everything starts at home. Pero may kalaban kasi yung ang bahay, ang home. Ang mga taong
Mhm.
nasa labas, that conformity comes in. So there's
Mhm.
conformity inside of the house and there's also conformity outside
Outside the
of the house.
house.
So, para kailangan i-overhaul yung buong system kung gano'n na case.
Yes. And I think kung yun yung justification mo, Sir Drew, na meron kang personal upbringing, meron kang personal culture, paano ka pinalaki sa bahay nyo, you were disciplined, paglabas mo ng bahay, it's a different world out there, ang dami-daming taong lumalabag sa mga batas na tinuro sa'yo sa bahay nyo. I think there's also the mental toughness and the upholding of your personal principles na kahit ginagawa ng karamihan to dahil alam kong mali, hindi ako susunod.
Totoo yun. Okay?
'Di ba? Kasi kung susunod ka lang sa agos, you're losing your identity now as a person, you're losing your discipline as an individual, 'di ba? Hindi porket ginagawa ng karamihan tama, hindi porket ginagawa ng karamihan mabuti.
Mhm.
Kasi kadalasan kung ano pa yung ginagawa ng karamihan, siya yung nakakasama at hindi tama,
Tama yan. Okay,
'di
that's
ba?
where two of my favorite Filipino values come in. Diyan natin may ipapasok yan. Puri meaning honor externally and dangal
Mhm.
which is honor from within. So,
Yes.
kailangan i-establish natin yun na, uy, this is what I believe in. This is what I
Mhm.
honor. This is the principles that I uplift and live for. So,
Mhm.
kahit anong mangyari sa paligid ko, kailangan i-preserve ko ang meron sa akin. Yeah,
Mhm.
I still need to respect other people. I still need to respect their ideas. Pero as possible, if I know that this is good, I need to preserve that.
Mhm. Yep. Basta wag lang sunod sa agos dahil ginagawa ng karamihan, gagawin mo na. You have your
Tama yan.
own beliefs. You have your own
Tama.
personal culture. Stick to your principles sa ano ang alam mong tama. Okay? And ay nako, pinag-uusapan lang siya pag naiisip ko siya talagang napapahay na lang ako. Anyway, we have a comment right here from Grateful Buster. He said, perhaps they think that laws in our country have no teeth. Oo, minsan din kasi binabali din kasi.
Tama.
Do'n din ako naiinis minsan na may mga pinagbibigyan, merong mga hindi. Dapat pack one, pack all. 'Pag pinagbigyan mo yung nasa kataas-taasan, pagbigyan mo din yung sa
Bigyan mo rin
baba.
yung nasa baba.
Oo, 'pag
Tama.
strikto ka sa pinakataas, strikto ka din sa
Stricto ka rin
baba.
sa
Wala
baba.
yung minsan kasi, "Uy, pamangkin ni ano 'yan, pagbigyan niyo. Uy, anak ni
Oh,
mayor ganito 'yan, pagbigyan niyo." Ay naku, super toxic. Padrinos and connections, blood, whatever you call it. It's one of the things I hate about being a Filipino kasi it only shows na we value power more than
more than,
honesty and integrity.
tama.
'Di ba? And it's really annoying.
That's a very powerful statement that you said. We value power more than honesty and integrity. It's
Mhm.
it's it's a sad truth, and yet it's currently happening as we speak.
Mhm. Yep. And we have another comment right here from Larissa Dizon. She said, I second that, Sir Great Heartfilia Fullbuster. They think it's okay. They think our laws are lenient when it comes to being disciplined. Oo. Hindi ko naman po nilalahat-lahat ng nag-i-implement ng batas. Whether we like it or we don't, meron at meron mga tao talagang binibreak ang mga rules para sa atin. Kasi takot din sila or may lagay or alam mo na, kilala nila, kaibigan nila, kumpare nila, whatever nila. So, wala silang magawa kundi mag-give in dun sa temptation na yon. And then she said, one more thing, ang batas para lang sa mga mahihirap. Kapag mayaman ka, wala ka, ano daw?
Wala na
Kapag
siyang bearing.
mayaman ka, wala na siyang bearing. We don't want to sound political and, we're not revolutionist or whatever. Pero yes, when it comes to this kind of thing, it happens. It's a sad fact. It's a sad reality. Yep.
I think what's important is, we're not trying to sound political, but it's for everyone to have this level of politics. Okay? Yung parang at least ito yung current situation natin. Kasi if you just shrug it away, parang isinantabi mo Pilipinas.
Yep. Sana ako I pray for a country, I pray for the Philippines that one day, kung ano ang batas para kay Juan, batas din siya para kay Pedro.
Tama. So,
diba?
sa pagdating susunod na halalan, bomoto
Like
kayo.
what I said, we don't want to try to sound political right here or whatever. But what we all want really at the end of the day is for everybody to be treated equally. Walang nakakapag-break ng batas, whatsoever. Pero syempre naman, going back to number 5, lack of discipline. Kung walang political agenda or whatsoever, ikaw lang talaga tong Pilipinong walang disiplina sa katawan, utang na loob, if you're a parent, do us a huge favor. Please discipline your children right at home para pag pumunta sila sa eskwelahan or they're, being taught in school at paglabas nila sa community nila, as local individuals or global individuals, dala-dala nila yung upbringing na yon hanggang sa pagtanda nila.
Tama.
Gawin yung solid yon para kahit anumang makita nilang anomalya sa paligid nila, hindi nila gayahin. Kasi may sarili silang pananaw, may sarili silang paniniwala, at may sarili silang identity. Diba? And tayo ding mga parents, wag din tayo yung mismo yung lumalabag sa batas. Minsan kasi sasabihin ni mommy or ni daddy, bawal nang magpuyat ng 10, magi-sleep na tayo ng 10, and then makikita mo si mommy at si daddy, gising pa ng 10:30, di ba? So, nakikita ng bata, okay, it's okay to break rules. Di ba? It's fun to break rules. So, sana, it starts at home, sabi nga ni Sir Drew. But, if it wasn't inculcated in us at home, we have our own choice and free will, piliin natin kung ano yung tama. At mabuti. Preach! Alright. So that is number 5, going around the rules or the lack of discipline. Number 4, ito, mainit-init, prying on everybody else's life and lifestyle. Mga pakialamera, labas. Okay, so what do we mean when we say prying on everybody else's life and lifestyle? Number 1, we have so much to say about how others live their lives, how they dress, how they speak, how they behave, how they breathe. We think we are perfect and we live a perfect life that our judgment matters. We bash others for what they post on social media when clearly it has nothing to do with us. And lastly, we talk about other individuals as if they're part of our daily menu. Chismis. Sir Drew, prying on everybody else's life and lifestyle. Your take on this?
Siguro we need to establish muna yung level of interaction. At a certain extent, dadaan sa proseso yun. Pero let me just to the very of it na there will be a point wherein you will mutually trust each other. So maging komportable ka na. Mas naiintindihan ba ang isa. And then eventually after that, the next level will be ang pakikisangkot. So you're getting involved with the person na dyan kanina parang, uy, I think I don't like how you're, maybe there's something better. Yan. Pero take note, that happens when you complete the entire process in a formal. Ang nangyari kasi, ang nangyaring toxic that we don't go through the process, diretso tayo sa pakikipagsangkot na hindi mo kilala yung taong yon, wala kang kaalam-alam kung sino yung taong yon, at nakikialam ka kung ano ang meron sa taong yon. Okay? Bakit? Kasi you're thinking na, uy, this is my principle, this is what I understand, this is what I believe, this is something that you should also believe in, and it's something that you should also follow because I believe. If you notice, lagi siya pumapasok sa idea na ako, I. So it's not that you're trying to get involved with the person, but you're trying to force yourself to the person. Yeah.
Ayan, dito rin natin nakakalimutan yung boundaries natin as individuals. Na feeling natin we're just giving an opinion, but the truth is, nangingialam na tayo or nanghihimasok na tayo sa buhay ng ibang tao. And that's not a good thing. Kasi may sarili tayong buhay, bakit ba tayo nanghihimasok sa buhay ng may buhay? Alam mo yon, kung anong inulam nila. Halimbawa, nakita mo yung kapitbahay mo, lumabas, naka-shorts. Ito naman ikaw, sasabihin mo, tingnan mo yung kapitbahay natin, lumabas, naka-shorts. Kala mo naman, ang ganda ng legs. Alam mo yung ganong klaseng mentality na parang, bakit ba? Hinihingi ba nila yung opinion mo tungkol sa legs nila at pananamit nila? Alam mo yon. Another thing, kapag nakita nating may pinapost sila sa social media, ang bilis nating mag-react. Ay nako, nagbayayabang na naman tong kumare ko. Tingnan mo tong pinost niya, pumunta na naman sila sa mall, ganito na naman yung kinain nila. Hindi ba pwedeng tanggapin mo na lang yung nakita mo, face value? Wala lang, lumabas sila ng family nila, family bonding, masaya sila, pinost nila yung activity yun. Why do we have so much to say about how others, spend their days or spend their lives? Bakit ba tayo nakikialam? Ang dami-dami na nating sariling problema sa mundo. Bakit pa natin pinanghihimasukan ang buhay ng may buhay? 'Di ba? And it's unhealthy. Kasi hindi mo alam kung saan nanggagaling yung mga taong to. Are they insecure? Are they curious? 'Di ba? Are they envy? Jealous? 'Di ba? Hindi mo maintindihan eh. Bakit mo ba nga naman pinagbibigyan ng atensyon at pinag-aaksayahan ng panahon ang buhay ng ibang tao?
I think you were able to
Enlighten
mention
us.
one word na
Yeah,
ano
sure.
na parang ano no, pero hindi po ito total ano lang to, understanding ko lang. Pero kasi kanina, there's one commenter na nagsabi na there's something about envy or jealousy. Naiinggit ka yan kung ano meron yung taong yun. We could relate that to the item which is crab mentality. Kasi doon na open up yun. Kahit ka eh. So, the more that you are feeling such yung level of inggit mas na-intensify, doon ka mas nakikialam. Ka mas sinasabi mo sa'yo, uy, meron siyang ganyan, sana ako rin. So, anong kailangan kong gawin? Let's emphasize on that. Yeah, bigyan natin ng ilagay natin siya sa stage. Instead of you celebrating what the person has, or if not celebrating, at least parang acknowledge na, oh, sige, kumain lang nga talaga sila sa labas. Instead of doing that, mas pinapasok mo pa yung sarili mo sa sitwasyon na parang, alam mo yun, it's not, hindi importante yung sasabihin mo. Hindi importante ang walang, there's no need for you to contribute for that in that scenario. Kasi bakit? Ikaw yung nasa labas eh. Ikaw lang taga-view. Ikaw lang yung taga-tingin. Okay? Unless they would really encourage you, uy, tara, punta ka dito. Then, you're part of the circle. Pero nangyari lang yun kapag close na talaga kayo. Talagang kayo. For example, tayong dalawa na we know each other for quite a long time. And if I said something critical with whatever you're doing, alam mo kung saan kung ano yung pinanggagalingan ko.
Yes.
Okay? Unlike
and I somehow give you the freedom or the authority to do so because we're friends. We've known each other for a long time.
Exactly. Pero yun nga, sabi kung as I mentioned sa sinabi ko kanina, it becomes toxic when mo kaano-ano yung taong yun, pero you're saying your piece.
Yun na nga yun eh. Doon nga yung nakakainis at toxic doon. Kung sino pa yung hindi ka kakilala talaga, sila pa yung maraming alam sabihin tungkol sa iyo. At sila pa yung maraming pakialam kung paano mo, nililive ang buhay mo. Diba? And I feel it also boils down to the possibility na siguro itong mga taong to, gusto nila kung paano yung beliefs nila, yung belief system nila and personal beliefs nila as individuals, nakikita din nila sa'yo. Na kung ano sa tingin nila ang tama at mali, dapat ganun mo din nililive yung life mo. If for them, mali ang lumabas kang naka-shorts, kukutsain ka nila, naka-shorts ka. If for them, questionable ang nagpo-post ka ng family gathering kasi hindi nila ginagawa, they might, question that kind of decision that you made too. So, ako, ang take ko lang dito, sabi ko nga, if I am your neighbor, you are lucky. Kasi generally, wala akong pakialam. Whatever you do. As long as hindi ka, alam mo yun, illegal crossover sa bahay ko. Di ba? I really wouldn't mind whatever you do in life. I think we have to set some boundaries na kapag hindi na solicited yung advice, hindi solicited yung opinion, and we're not helping the person grow, let's just shut our mouths. 'Di ba? Kasi hindi naman tayo nakakatulong, nakakaperwisyo pa tayo. And with what we do, prying other people's lives or prying on other people's lives, we're actually gaining enemies more than friends Kasi ba't ba tayo nakikialam? 'Di ba? What's our intention sa pakikialam? Are we truly concerned or we just want some argument with other people?
Ay, totoo yan. Some people, they just want to spark fire. Yun lang yung gusto nila.
Mm,
Okay?
'di ba? I think also it boils down to, mutual respect. Kung
Tama.
gano'n nila gustong i-live yung buhay nila, kahit ano pang gawin nila, kasi hodang napapariwara sila or maganda yung kinapupuntahan ng buhay nila, we have no business to meddle. Okay, that's their life. And I'm
I think
pretty
it's
sure they have their own opinion too on your life, but they don't just
Tama.
voice it out.
Tama. I think it's important for this item na to put into perspective, respecting each other's privacy and space. Kasi lahat tayo
Mm,
may sarili-sariling privacy, may sarili-sariling space. So, respect that. Kung kailangan na
mm,
hanggang dito lang, hanggang dito lang. Okay? I can
mhm.
permit you a few inches, a few centimeters. But other than that, wala na. Okay?
Yeah. And remember, kahit nga yung kambal magkaiba. Kambal na yan,
Mhm.
they came from the same cell, but they grew up differently. So, what more ikaw na taong hindi mo kaano-ano yung ibang tao? Huwag mong hanapin yung sarili mo sa ibang tao. Kung paano sila manamit, mag-isip, live their life, mamuhay, magsalita, that's them. Okay? We have no right to judge them for who they are because we do not know them personally. Hindi
Tama.
naman tayo cleaners, sabi nga ni Miss Kim, to borrow the word of Miss Kim, hindi tayo cleaners. Huwag tayong magmalinis. We're not perfect.
Gusto ko
Okay?
yung, narinig ko yung boses.
So let's not try to pry on everybody else's life and lifestyle. We have our own lives to live. Yung nga lang buhay natin, minsan nakakapagod na, di ba?
Tama
Tapos
yun.
manghihialam pa tayo sa buhay ng ibang tao. Huwag naman ganun. Live harmoniously with other people. Diba?
Tama.
Kung wala silang ginagawang masama sa inyo, huwag niyo silang gawan ng masama. Golden rule, do not do unto others what you do not want others to do unto you.
To you.
Diba?
Tama.
That's basic. My gosh. Wow, nainis. So that's number
Chill.
4, prying on everybody else's life. Let's now go to number 3. I think this is also very important to tackle. Thinking that depression is an illness or being gay is evil. Okay. Kani-kanina lang I was browsing my, news feed, and a good friend of ours, our student before, she had this video made na naiinis siya kasi somebody said na people who are depressed do not believe in God. And she made a reaction video to that kasi nainis siya. And she said na she was clinically diagnosed to have acute depression or anxiety in 2017 and she still believed in God. And I think because of the ongoing situation when it comes to suicides, sorry for the word, no, not trying to trigger anyone, and depression, maraming nagsasabi, kaartehan lang yan. It's not a real thing. Malungkot ka lang, you are labeling yourself as depressed. You're being judged like that. Or, it may be, nag-out ka, bading ka, and then people think, pupunta ka sa impyerno. God only created man and woman and not gays, not lesbians. And, it's pure evil. It's the doing of the devil. So, for one, under this item, we are close-minded people. We believe that what we only think is what is right. We are hesitant to consider something or someone strange to us. So, pagkakaiba sa atin, agad, masama. We judge others based on our own belief system, and we cannot accept things or people who are different from us. Your take, Sir Drew.
Um, I think you mentioned something about being close-minded.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, ganito kasi yan. With the current generation that we have, the youth of today, um, so thankful na palaban sila and
Mm-hmm.
na-establish yung openness na, uy, There's understanding about mental health. There is understanding about respecting each other's sexual preferences, and that's
Mhm.
really important.
Mhm.
Um, Going in sa psych side, I think kailangan nating i-consider na we need to respect um, someone's condition, psychological condition.
Mhm.
Um, or kung hindi naman it's something that's officially an official diagnosis, at least if they are going through with something, it's important that we don't judge them based on what we see. We don't
Mhm.
based on the idea that it's just a virus, it's just something that will last a few hours. No. Kailangan nating irespeto ang pinagdadaanan nila. And kung kailangan ng tulong, then at least assist kung ano pwede may tulong sa kanila. Kasi we a law that actually protects our mental health or promotes our
Mhm.
mental health.
Yep.
So, kailangan, alam mo yun, uh, the law that I'm referring to is the mental health law or the RA 11036. So, yeah, o, diba?
You have
Yeah,
to be
may
specific
batas.
about it.
Yeah, I have to be specific kasi batas siya. And that's a very important as psych students kasi alam mo yun, this is where we would share our parang our advocacy na let's not stigmatize mental health conditions or mental health illnesses. Okay? And
Mhm.
that if you're feeling as if there's something wrong, that you might be feeling a certain level of anxiety or depression,
Mhm.
there are ways to assist you, and there
Mhm.
are people who can help you. Yun yung
Mhm.
pwedeng i-consider. Siguro, just to synthesize on in that item, we need to establish an understanding of of things. I mean, come on, guys. It's already what year is it? It's 2020
It's
already.
2020.
We are not in the Jurassic period. We're not in the Triassic period. We are in 2020. We are
Mhm.
we are we are here now. And these things of stigmatizing whether a person is, wait, sorry for BALIW. Kung tama na yun. As in, okay? Nobody
Mhm.
likes hearing that word. Okay? Or even na kapag sinasabing, if you have this kind of sexuality, isa kang salot. No. Okay? We have a lot of people, celebrities, social media influencers, of them who are of of specific sexual preferences, and yet they are role models for so many people.
Mhm.
See, so um, let's just that and celebrate this the diversity that we have in terms of sexual preferences and respect whatever we are, what person is their psychological well-being.
Mhm. Yep.
And I thank you.
Yeah,
Yun kasi yung dalawang advocacy ko. Kaya malapit siya sa puso.
yeah, but I have to agree to everything that you said, no. We couldn't really judge people based on their choices, whether, the sexual preferences or gender preferences, however you call them, or how they label themselves when it comes to the degree of sadness that they have, whether they are clinically diagnosed as depressed or, they consider themselves depressed without having to be clinically diagnosed as such. Um Again, cohabitation, coexistence. Sabi mo nga kanina, it's already 2020. Kung yung mga marine biologists, they discover, you know, sea creatures from the deep blue sea na mukhang I don't know what, and we accept that, what more yung mga kagaya nating mga tao na nag evolve then from being just man and woman to gay, lesbian, bi, and so, 'di ba? Um if you advocate equality, if you advocate no to skin color discrimination and whatnot, then why cannot you advocate equality when it comes to gender preferences too and sexual preferences too, or how people feel about themselves or their mental health, diba? Sabi nga ni Martin Luther King Jr., do not judge a person based on the color of his or her skin. It's the same thing. Do not judge a person based on how he or she labels himself mentally and how he labels himself sexually. Okay? There's more to a person than that. Pwedeng ang tao ay bakla, tomboy, pero napakabuting tao. Pwedeng ang tao ay straight na lalaki at straight na babae, pero pumapatay ng kapwa-tao. Pwedeng ang tao sinabi niyang depressed siya, pero pinapasaya niya yung ibang tao. Pwedeng ang tao sasabihin niyang matino siya, wala siyang nararamdaman, pero pinupulyut niya at kinokorrupt niya ang ibang tao. So, you know, we couldn't categorize people based on what they are or what they prefer. We are complex people and we don't judge people just based on that. Okay? So sana no sa mga nakikinig sa atin, nanonood sa atin, let's try to help, people who think that depression is just a kaartehan or a capricho and who find gay individuals, lesbians, bis, trans na evil sila. Well, ako, I'm a Catholic by heart, by upbringing. In my upbringing, there's only two genders, man and women, but I have a lot of gay friends. And I never judge them for 1 second. I'm not trying to be, Mama Mary here or, a guardian
A
angel or
saint.
whatsoever. I'm not trying to be cleaners or a saint, My point here is I've known these people. That's why I respect them a lot, regardless if they're gay, if they're depressed, if, they're jolly and straight. So I hope we help others na medyo nagiging judgmental sa mga taong depressed at part ng LGBTQ plus community. Let's respect their preferences. Let's respect their choices. And let's support them the way we support other brothers and sisters in our community. Okay? So that is number 3, thinking that depression is an illness or being gay is evil. Let's go to
Thank you,
number 2. Eto, naku po, Sir Drew, medyo madugo din to. Shaming or blaming. When it comes to shaming, here are the bullets or the bullet points. Victim shaming. Kinatcall ka. Kasalanan mo, nagpakita ka ng cleavage eh. Verbal shaming. May sinabi, agad mong binabara. Body shaming. Ang taba-taba mo, you have again the audacity to wear that two-piece. Skin color shaming. Nako, ang itim-itim mo, tapos ganyan ang suot mo, yellow. Ano ka? Bumbilya? Intellectual shaming. You know what? I want to order this cup of Frappuccino, but pa-English-English ka pa. Diba? Profession shaming. Janitor ka lang. Hindi ka engineer, wala kang title. Hindi ka nag-aral. Sir Drew, your take on this?
Ang broad kasi yung konsepto ng shaming kasi as what you've elaborated.
Mm-hmm.
But for one thing kasi, why, I think it also boils down to one item that we've discussed. Now, why do we always force ourselves to somebody to judge other people's lives?
Yeah.
Position of putting or enforcing what we know and what we believe into that person. Alam mo yun? Kasi when we're trying to shame someone, for example, because of their figure, their body, it's like as if you are trying to enforce yourself. This is what I would like you to be. Like for instance, if you are
standards.
Yes, if you have this kind of standards physically, why are you pushing that kind of standards to that person? Why can't that person celebrate whatever they are currently feeling or they're currently expressing who they really are? Diba?
Mm-hmm.
The level of that's basically the toxic it is a very toxic. The second, tama ba ako?
Mm-hmm.
Second item na oo nga. Why do we always put people in the spotlight, and when we put them in that spotlight, we use spotlight na we celebrate what we have. We them, we harass them, we pinapahiya natin sila. Okay? That's basically
Mm-hmm. And we have an additional comment right here from Larissa de Leon Dizon. She said, referring to number 3 a while back on discrimination in terms of gender preference and depression. And if it's gender preference, let us not insert our religious beliefs, she said. I have to agree. Kasi once you involve religion when it comes to sexual preferences and gender preferences, magiging malabo tayo dyan. Well,
messy.
the Bible is has been the standard for quite a long time. And if we question the Bible, just to justify the existence of our gay friends, then we might be excommunicated. But then again, we don't discount the fact that our gay friends are also human beings. And as human beings, they were created in the image of God, something to that effect. But yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. And then Gray Heartfilia Fullbuster said, "Don't meddle on other people's affairs. Mind your own business." Uh-huh. And he added, "People who shame others should be ashamed of themselves." Definitely.
Hmm.
Kasi 'di ba, what's our point? Again, are we trying to dim other people's lights so that ours will shine brighter? Ganun
Shine
ba ang
brighter.
point natin? Oo, 'di
Mm.
ba? I mean, yun nga, victim shaming for one, na-catcall, nabastos. We couldn't even sympathize sa victim eh. Hindi man natin sasabihin,
Mm.
"Ay, bastos kasi 'tong lalaking 'to kaya sinipulan niya or hinawakan niya or
Mm.
whatever." Agad ang ano natin, "Eh, ikaw kasi nagbigay ka ng motibo." Really, ganun
Mm.
tayo mag-isip as people? Ginusto
Yeah.
ba ng taong 'to or na-rape yung babae? Eh, ikaw kasi nakipag-inuman ka eh. Yes, factually, that's a factor. Okay? Nandun yung risk, hindi nakapag-isip ng maayos yung babae, nakipag-inuman siya, she knew the risk or probably she did not know the risk, kaya nangyari yun. But the question here is, did she want to be raped?
Mm.
Essentially, the answer is no. Sino ba namang tao ang gustong ma-rape siya? But then we have the audacity again to blame, ikaw kasi. Pinabayaan mo eh. Hinayaan mo
Mm.
eh. What kind of mentality are we showing to the world? We are actually nurturing a mindset na okay lang pala na ang sisihin natin ang biktima at yung suspect walang kasalanan sa nangyari. 'Di ba? Eh, I mean, ang hirap ng ganon. Nakakaawa. Yung mga
It,
sinishame talaga.
yeah. It's fast during this period that we're all in part, we're at home, and so many issues are surfacing right now.
Mm.
And relative to what you've just discussed, merong similar na nangyaring ganyan. And it's nice to see the
Mhm.
dynamic na maraming mga uh, so the middle term is uh, yung na-woke daw sila. And it's it's
Mhm.
it's it's nice on my end. It is nice. Uy, nagigising na yung mga maraming tao. Nagigising na ang maraming mga Pilipino. Uy, hindi dapat ganyan. Hindi
Mhm.
dapat ganyan yung mindset natin. So, we still need to convince a lot of people still, but it is a start. Okay?
Yep. At least
Para at least
there's
mabawasan
progress.
na. Oo, there's progress. Kaya nga gusto ko kanina na
Mhm.
I somehow admire the current generation that they're brave. Yes, they are
Mhm.
impulsive. Yes, they are very undecisive when they in terms of their choices. But they're also brave. Braver than the other
Yes.
generations. That's why
Uh-huh.
sabi ko, sige, pave the way. Then we follow.
And they're very affirmative with what they believe in. Talagang
Yeah,
ipaglalaban nila. I think they're
yeah,
really courageous too when it comes to their principles and beliefs. And it's a good
yeah,
sign, 'di ba?
yeah,
That they couldn't be manipulated and controlled. And
yeah.
also, in connection to the progress that you mentioned, I'm really thankful that there are already some cities in the Philippines that have already filed ordinances na bawal ng sumipol,
Tama.
bawal ng mag-catcall. Pero you know what? To be honest, bakit kailangan ng batas? When in fact it should have been really just a norm or a human empathy, if you call it empathy, or respect lang na you don't really have to,
Mm.
catcall or magbastos ka ng ibang babae just based on what they wear and whatnot. Yeah. And yeah, when it comes to body shaming, more and more we are accepting or becoming accepting of plus size models. Alam mo yan, sa
Yes.
TikTok ngayon, my gosh, double my size, triple my size, they keep dancing. And people are cheering them. A majority of the comments, "Go girl, you got this." So I think, sabi mo nga, slowly, the world is opening its mind to these kinds of appreciation, no? Yung mga standards na sinet natin before na ang sexy lang ay 36, 24, 30, 36, ang maganda
6.
lang ay ang maputi, 'di ba? Nagbabago
Matangkad, payat.
oo,
Yan.
payat, oo, nagbabago na 'tong mga dynamics na 'to because of what's going on. We are welcoming diversity. But when it comes to the Philippines, of course, we cannot generalize and say and conclude na lahat tayo
Lahat
open.
tayo. Tama.
Meron at meron talagang mahilig pa ring mang-shame. Lalong-lalo na sa intellectual shaming, sa social media, Diyos ko Lord. Kapag nag-clash ng opinion ng isa't isa, nag-English lang yung isa't isa, yung alam mo yun, yung dynamic ng debate nila out of bounds na. Personal attack na yung mangyayari.
Tama,
Alam mo yun?
tama.
So, nagiging toxic siya. Instead of maging intellectual conversation or debate yung usapan on social media, nagiging siyang personal attack and intellectual shaming.
Tama.
'Di ba? So, I hope that changes na kung meron kang tapang na makipag-argwelyo or makipag-debate sa isang tao online, wag mo namang i-attack yung person based on, his intellect or capacity to use a language. I-attack mo dun sa grounds and points na ni-raise niya dun sa topic ninyo. 'Di ba?
Tapos na gagamit na siya ng mga highfalutin words where they
Oo.
don't even make sense.
'Di ba?
And
Yung
they're
mga
placed in the wrong
gano'n.
way.
So, you have to ground what you do to respect palagi. Even if you are arguing with someone or in a conversation with someone, wag naman palaging pabastos or disrespectful. Another thing, profession shaming. Sana matapos na rin to na kapag walang titulo sa pangalan, wag nating i-consider na walang pinag-aralan or mababa ang pinag-aralan. Alam mo yon? Kaya more and more
Yeah.
people are being pressured to put these additional letters to their names kasi feeling nila doon lang sila na-honor, doon lang sila
Guilty.
na-appreciate. Diba?
That's the reason why I have 3 letters in my name.
Kasi, with all due respect sa mga professions na merong extension, doctor, attorney, engineer, CPA, PhD, MA, MA, kung ano man yung mga letters na ina-attach nyo sa mga pangalan nyo, you've earned those. Congratulations. We honor you. We're proud of you. Pero dun sa mga taong walang extension ng pangalan, wag naman natin silang i-discriminate. Kasi hindi naman ibig sabihin walang extension ng pangalan nila, hindi sila magaling or they don't deliver at work. It's just that they did not have the time, the privilege to have that kind of education, to further their education. Diba? Or yung mga janitor lang, walang, alam mo yun, yung respect. Sabi ko nga,
Okay, wag mo nilang
ay hindi, sila nga yung nagle-label ng lang, 'di ba? Mga
Yeah.
janitor lang, security guard lang. Ako, I believe that, a person is genuinely a nice person and a good person kung papaano niya tinitreat ang CEO, ganun din niya tinitreat ang janitor.
Actually, yeah. Judge someone is to know how they're able to interact with a janitor, with a security guard, with those that are of the service rendering units of a company. Try to know how they interact with them, and you will kung ang prinsipyo at saka yung character ng taong yun. Ang number
And
one rule ko nga lagi is that
Sure.
pag nasa restaurant ka, huwag ka mag-inarte. Yun yung
Yes.
lagi ko sa sarili ko. Don't you ever fight with the waiter. If you have to open a concern because of this and that, particularly with the thing that with the food that you're eating, then do it in a nice way. But don't you ever make a scandalous remark. Wag kang mag-open up ng isang scenario sa isang food establishment kasi
Yes.
you must not. Yun lang sasabihin ko, you must not.
Kasi sa'yo magba-backfire yun whether you like it or not. At saka yung, alam mo yun, palaging sinasabi na customers are always right, so we have the right to, complain all we want. That's not true. I've always been nice to waiters and waitresses, but when I started venturing to food business, that's when I truly understand what they are or, the value of them in that kind of industry. The more respect I gained for them, really. Kasi mahirap ang trabaho nila. The patience that they have for us, yung mga complaints natin, small requests natin, nobody will, I couldn't stand that. You'll pay me para lang mag-inarte ka, if, to accommodate your whims and your requests. So you have to be nice talaga to everybody, regardless if they're, working for a blue-collar job or a white-collar job. We have a comment right here. Go ahead.
May nasabi si Larissa na hindi ko sabi on air. So, sige ma'am, you can just open it up.
Okay, sabi niya, I think that is to cover their guilt na din, lalo na if they know the one who was raped. Parang, para hindi sila magmukhang helpless, isisisi sa na-rape na lang. Mm.
That was in reference dun sa isang
Reference
item.
to victim shaming. And then she
Yeah,
also mentioned the level of respect depends on what type of profession they give the person. Exactly.
exactly.
Kapag attorney ka, or I mean
But
again, with all due respect, no? Pag may mga
yeah,
title ka sa pangalan, lahat respeto, kabaitan, grace binibigay sa'yo. Pero
bigay.
kapag butihing call center agent ka, janitor ka, teacher ka, or alam mo yun, yung mga profession na wala talagang title, okay. Ganun lang. Okay. It's a sad reality again. Kaya nga, dinidiscuss natin siya para baliin natin yung ganong kasing mentality na, you know, whether professional ka, you've been educated for 4 years or 10 years, ang dami mong PhD sa buhay mo, if, you know, your attitude, your integrity doesn't speak for that 10 years, you're nothing for me. Compared to somebody na
Exactly.
janitor, pero yung integridad andon, yung character intact, yung kabaitan nandon, humility andon, he's much greater than you are.
Exactly. It
Diba?
boils down to character. It really boils down to that. How you're able to uh parang to share yourself to other people's lives.
Mhm.
More than just your title, more than just your yung position mo sa isang kumpanya. Nasa
Yep.
pakikipagkapwa mo yun.
Mhm. Tsaka at the end of the day, sabi nga nung isa kong teacher nung high school, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of the day, we will all be 6 feet under the ground. 'Di ba? Hindi naman natin dadalhin 'tong mga titulong 'to, yung mga extension ng pangalan natin. So what's the
Mhm.
point of bragging them? We get it, pinaghirapan nyo, you deserve them, right? Like I said, we're cheering for you, we're rooting for you. It's just that if you're using them to your advantage and to hurt other people, then I think you don't deserve them.
Exactly.
'Di ba? Wag ganon. And then Larissa De Leon, Dizon said, because they will mess up with your
Mess up
food.
your food.
Char!
Char! Yeah,
Ah,
yun yung gusto kong sabihin kanina kaso nang I can't.
um, with my experience, I haven't really messed up with anyone's food while I was still in the business. So, not all
But
but
there
my.
is, yeah.
Yes,
Tama
I've
naman
seen
sinabi ni
videos
Luisa.
already.
Yeah. I've seen
Mm-mm.
videos, no people. So yeah, just be
Yeah.
fluent with respecters and your food handlers.
Yeah. All right. So before we continue on, I just want to say a quick hello to Ma'am Warlina Guzman, Dean or Dine Antonio. They're watching us. And also, Tito Jess Escobia Pangilinan is also watching us. And Litzy Zamonte Ramirez from Laguna is also with us. Of course, Larissa Dizon and Gray Fullbuster. They're still here. And then another comment from Gray. He said, a person who is about to lose a battle attacks personally. He'll opt to shame your physical appearance. LOLs. Is that the ad hominem argument? Yes. Ad hominem. Attacking the person instead of the point.
Yeah.
Exactly. Marami kasing ganyan yung mga false argument. Kaya ako dati, I was very vocal when it comes to raising my points on social media. You know this. I will post a lot of things, just to voice
Mm.
out my opinion. But when I see others' comments and they don't get the point why I said those, and shut up na lang ako kasi ayoko nang ituloy yung argument kasi feeling ko useless. Alam mo yun?
Kumbaga, you don't want to inflate it. You don't want to make it bigger.
Yeah. So anyway, that's on false arguments. So we're still on number 2. Again, no, shaming. It comes to physical shaming, verbal shaming, body shaming, skin color shaming. In fairness naman sa atin sa Pilipinas, hindi ganun kagrabe yung skin color shaming natin. I mean, all of us are kayumanggi. Some are just fairer or whiter, di ba? In other countries, mas malala to.
Mhm.
The history of the blacks and the whites is since time immemorial, and until now, it's going on, it's happening. Fortunately, dito sa atin, hindi siya ganun kalala. But then again, our standard of beauty, kapag maputi, dun lang maganda. Kapag, alam mo yun, kayumangging, ano ba yun? Kayumangging kaligatan, hindi na maganda. Pero the truth is, kung sino yung mga morena talaga at maiitim, sila yung wow, maganda talaga. Ang dami kong nakikitang models na black, ay sobrang ganda talaga. The skin color is just immaculate. Wow.
Wow, immaculate.
Yep. Ayan. Before we go to number 1, basahin ko lang very quickly yung mga comments natin sa Facebook. Sabi ni Mami Ice Armenia, disobedience and no discipline is one of the toxic Filipino traits. And then Lay Alfaro Geronimo said, annoying and sensitive questions being asked like, kailan ka mag-aasawa? Kailan ka magkakaanak? Mag-anak ka na kasi, walang mag-aalaga sa'yo pag tumanda ka. This is prying on somebody else's life, no? And then Larissa Dizon said, respect based on profession. Pag di ka professional, kiber lang. Tapos, pag di yung natapos mo ang work mo, you're not worthy of respect. Oo, minsan yung mga nurse, kapag nagko-call center agent, kino-question bakit ganon. And then Annabelle Nukum Samson said, mapangmata, discrimination sa skin color, matuling, maitim, based on my personal experience, brown kumu kung tutuusin. And then Joshua David said, your so-called friends, wag masyadong mataas pangarap mo, di ka magugustuhan yan, or discouragement. And then Doc Jean Paulo said, kapilan ka makyasawa. That's a common denominator. And then Jeshel Aboy said crab mentality. Alan Christian Carlos said crab mentality. There you go. Yan, mga comments natin sa Facebook when I made the poll. All right, now, hello Lordy. Thank you for joining the live. It's the big reveal, number 1. Isa to sa mga toxic Filipino traits na bago lang naman na-discover, no? It's a new species of toxic
Talaga?
Filipino trait. Oo, wala naman to dati masyado. Ngayon lang talaga. I don't know what caused or triggered this one, but this is I think this is number 1. As we speak, this generation and this time and age. Tada! Self-entitlement. The I attitude. Right? So when we say self-entitlement, we are always right, never wrong. What we ask for, we must get at all cost. We think the world and others owe us everything. We want to have everything our way. We cannot be hurt by situations or others because we are precious. We are intangible and we want to be prioritized always. Self-entitlement. Sir Drew, take it away.
Talagang ako talaga mag-explain. Well, for one thing, when you have this kind of trait, a characteristic of false pride, you're just trying to level yourself. Parang, uy, I'm here. I have this kind of status sa buhay ko. But it doesn't actually mean anything at all. Maybe for you there is, but for other people it's not. But because of that, parang sense of a false pride that you have, you exaggerate the sense of your sense of the self. So much self-importance sa sarili mo. And doon na pasok yung parang, dahil ako may pangalan akong nito, dahil ganito ang estado ng buhay ko, I should be given this, I should be given that, I should be treated this way, and not. If, for example, I deserve to be in this kind of seat, I don't want to be near the exit, I need to be somewhere with her. Alam mo yun, I think a while ago, you put yourself in this, sabi ko kanina, you put others in that spotlight para naman, you put yourself in that spotlight for other people to see you and to notice you, feed mo ang ego na. This is na para sabihin mo sa ibang tao, hey guys, I am important. I'm more important.
Yep, I think. There you go. So self-entitlement is basically asking for everything you want in life, and using your, name, power, title, authority, just to get things done your way. Parang ganun siya. It is toxic because it only shows how selfish you are as an individual and how narcissistic you are as an individual. Kasi parang, kailangan din nating establish na, we get it. You have to value yourself. You have to give importance to yourself. You have to know your worth and to love yourself completely. And to not allow others to harm you in whatever form. But, self-entitlement kasi is negative in a sense na you are stepping on other people's rights, stepping on other people's privileges, stepping on other people's space and time, just so you could be accommodated. Ganun yung self-entitlement eh. You're sacrificing others for your sake. Diba? The selfishness is there. And I think this is toxic kasi more and more, rather than giving values to ourselves or worth to ourselves, nagiging narcissist lang tayo at nagiging selfish lang tayo. Right? Are you still there, Sir Drew? I think he's lagged. All right. Yep, I lost him. So when we talk about self-entitlement, yon, palagi nating sinasabi, I'm never wrong. Lagi lang akong tama. Whatever I say, it's always right. My opinions are always right. Other people's opinions do not matter. Okay? Ako lang yung tama. Okay? And then what we ask for, we must get at all costs. At the expense of other people. Kahit nakakasakit na tayo, basta makuha natin yung gusto natin, we would go after it. Whatever the risks are, whatever the process may be, as long as we get it. If we, make the term casual, we may say we're being brats. Spoiled brats. Okay? Kung anong gusto natin, kailangan makuha natin. And then we think the world and others owe us everything. Self-entitled people think that the world revolves because of them. Sabi nga ni Sir Drew kanina, the spotlight syndrome, yung feeling mo, ikaw lang ang nakikita ng mundo. Pag nawala ka sa mundo, tapos na ang mundo. When the truth is, you are nothing but a speck of dust. Diba? You're nothing but a speck of dust in this world. Ganun tayo ka-irrelevant. Once we're gone, the world will continue. Time will flow. Sabi nga nila. Without us, everything still exists. Everything still continues. And yet, self-entitled people think that without them, the world stops. Everything becomes irrelevant because everything just makes sense because of them. Okay? And then we want to have everything our way. Oo, kagaya na sabi ko, what we want, we get. Eto, we cannot be hurt by situations or others because we are precious. Nagiging overly sensitive tayo, Sir Drew.
Mhm.
Like yung feeling natin kapag nasaktan lang tayo ng konti, you owe me an apology na.
Anong sinasabi ko lagi? Oo, sila yung mga untouchables.
Oo. Alam mo
Dapat
yun, yung parang wala
walang
silang
bahay.
karapatan masaktan.
Oo. Wala sa karapatang masaktan. Hindi sila pwedeng madumihan. Ang may kasalanan dapat ang maipasa sa nila. Alam mo yun? Ano kasanto?
Hindi kasi parang ang hirap lang na parang kapag may naggawang mali sa yung isang tao, minute lang, as in minuscule, as in walang kakwenta-kwenta, and then nasaktan ka, parang ginawa mong big deal. Parang kung hindi makapag-sorry sa'yo yung tao, hindi mo mapapatawad at your own will. Kasi yung tingin mo sa sarili mo, ganun kalaki, which is not bad at all. Pero kung yun nga, sabi ko, you are doing things at the expense of others. Sila na yung na-offend mo, nasasaktan mo, OA ka na, not reasonable na, di ba? You're being self-entitled already. It's not self-worth anymore. Right? And then we have
you mentioned something about...
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Before the comment, you mentioned something about self-worth.
Yep.
I think there's as well that it's important to value ourselves. This is what we refer to as self-esteem. So self-worth, value, that's your self-esteem. But when you put so much value to expecting other people's value, putting yourself superior to these people, that's where self-entitlement comes in. Na parang ginagawa mo, you are superior to them physically, maybe intellectually, or with whatever characteristics that you're trying to rise above them. Okay.
Yep. So it's not really a thin line that differentiates self-entitlement from self-worth. There's a big difference between the two.
Yes,
really.
exactly.
Kaya sabi ko kanina, it's okay that we value ourselves, we love ourselves, but not at the expense of hurting others. Or offending others. Ayan. And we have a comment right here from Gray Fullbuster. He said, I remember a post on Facebook where a girl was bashed because she posted a photo of a guy who did not give her a seat on a bus. Yes, I remember this one.
I know that, yeah.
And I was reacting quietly and telling myself, talk about equality. Kasi a lot of people, when it comes to feminism, and girl power, ang akala kasi nila, girls are always favored. Not actually. When you talk about feminism, it's the equality between a woman and a man. So kung hindi ka pinaupo ng lalaki, it's okay because you wanna be equal. Kung pinaupo mo ang isang lalaki, it's acceptable because you wanna be equal. What a man can do, a woman can
A
do.
woman
What
can
a
do.
man, yeah,
Can do.
what a man must do,
Woman.
a woman must
A
do.
woman can do. Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
ganun ang feminism. Kaso ang misconception kapag feminism,
One
greater
side lang.
gender, oo, greater
Yeah.
gender ang babae, which is not the case. That's not
No.
equality. It's inequality. Di
Yeah.
ba? Yeah, I
And
remember
one
that
thing,
video too.
yeah, one thing na iniisip din nila na kapag feminist ka, not ano lang, side track lang sa topic. Kapag
Oo.
feminist ka, babae lang dapat ang mga feminists. No, we have several
No.
male feminists.
Yes. Oo. And I think kasi yung parang naging point nung girl is, babae kasi ako, dapat pinaupo ako. Oo nga, babae ka. There's chivalry if, the person asks you to have his seat. Kaya lang ang justification ni Guy, if I remember it correctly, he was tired and he had to travel a long way to get home or to go to work. So, hindi na niya naisip yung chivalry bangi. So, I still agree that chivalry is not dead. However, if you
Mhm.
want to strive for equality in terms of feminism, there's nothing wrong kung hindi ka pinaupo talaga.
Mhm.
That's just how it is, 'di ba? With all due respect to men, men who ask women to have their seats, thank you very much. You're very chivalrous. Men who do not share their sheets, not tuloy, seats to
Sheets.
women. Sorry, I'm not trying to curse. Their seats to women. No, we don't really get offended. Ako personally, I don't get offended by that. I think it's actually a sign that you're telling me you're a grown-up woman. You don't need this seat. So, okay lang. Ako, okay lang din sa akin. Yeah. So, I'm not that self-entitled. So, whatever it is, okay lang sa akin. But, with other people, sabi ko nga, toxic Filipino trait, it's a general collective trait. Diba? Yung iba talaga naghahanap ng special treatment because we are
Yeah.
entitled.
Siguro they're just expecting, for example, in that for that instance na the girl asking for the seat, they're expecting na, uy, the guy should be a gentleman. Dapat ganito yung mannerism, yung behavior niya,
Expectations.
my expectation. So, pero mind you, not everyone is a gentleman.
Mhm.
There's only a handful of men that have this kind of behavior, this kind of
Mhm.
etiquette, this kind of poise. They showcase to not just women but everyone. Okay.
And not every woman is a damsel in distress. There are a lot of us who are
Exactly.
independent. You know?
Exactly.
I mean, kung sige, pinaupo ka, uy, kakilig naman, pinaupo ka, but then again, ako, I'd feel terrible if I learned na pinaupo ako tapos pala inaantok na yung tao. Alam mo yung ganong klaseng conscience level na parang the person was so selfless for you and you're not even aware of the circumstance ng tao yun at binigay
Mhm.
lang niya sa'yo yung upuan niya. So,
Yeah.
I remember that example. And then Sir Edward Inong said, yes yung
Yeah,
dog.
yes,
Oh,
yung
yeah.
dog, yeah. Narinig niya siguro yung sa background ko. Yeah, sorry for
Yeah.
that.
It's all right. We
Pero,
welcome everybody. Dogs, cats, rats. Yes, you
pero
were
yun
saying, Sir Drew.
I don't mean to compare, but when I was in Hong Kong, and then, syempre, yung pinaka transpo doon is sa train. And then, you would see women standing and men sitting.
Yeah.
Parang, it's okay. I mean,
Mhm.
you were the first one there, pero yung number one sa kanila, kapag may matanda na nakatayo, ibigay mo yung seat mo. Yun yung number
Yes.
one sa kanila.
Aha.
So that is respected. And sana sa atin din, ganun sana yung mangyari din. Pero kung for example, if for example tayong dalawa, hindi tayo magkakilala, and then ako, I was the first there, I was the first one sitting in that seat, iyakin ko.
Oo
Ako
naman.
nauna.
Especially if it's a long drive, 'di ba? It's a long
Exactly.
way. Oo.
Yeah.
I was about to say that when I went to Korea, there was this old man offering his seat to me. And the old na, syempre nag-beg off na ako. Sabi ko, it's okay, sa inyo na lang po. And then, nung mga matatanda na yung nakikita naming nakatayo, then we offered our seat. So, yeah, alam mo yon yung ganong klaseng care naman, that's what we call care and value for our elders. Kasi matanda na sila. Physically, they couldn't really, take the long-standing position while traveling. Yeah,
Tama,
but when it comes to men and women na parehong physically okay, wag na tayong masyadong maarte mga babae. Be thankful kung gentleman si kuya. Pero kung
Oo,
hindi, wag niyo naman din masamain at i-take it against him kasi wala naman siyang responsibilidad na paupuin tayo talaga. 'Di
tama
ba?
'yan.
Hindi ka naman girlfriend, hindi ka naman asawa or whatever. Oh, 'di ba? If we want
Again,
equality, let's
yeah.
practice equality.
Again, that's where traditions are somehow the downfall of us. Ini-expect lang na lagi natin, dapat ito yung mangyayari sa akin.
Mm.
Already one sign you are trying to be self-entitled. Na parang
Oo.
I want this to happen to me. I want this for other people to do this for me. Parang alam mo yun.
Mm. Yeah, so much for self-entitlement kasi you know what? Ano siya eh, parang more than really self-worth and self-love, it shows how selfish you are.
Mhm.
Kasi ikaw lang yung nakikita mo, ikaw lang, without regard to other people. Right? And that is number 1 on the list, no? Top 10 toxic Filipino traits. I made it number 1 kasi I feel that in our generation today, more and more people become this, self-entitlement. I don't know if it's because how social media is now shaping our minds. Alam mo yon? And some influencers or artists, celebrities are shaping our minds na parang, you have to think about yourself first. Self first.
Mhm. Mhm.
Diba?
I mean,
Without
o
really
o
being too cautious about it.
let me try to ano yan, yung sinabi mo, it's okay to think of yourself. Kasi we had this episode about self-care. Okay?
Yes,
It's
self-love.
again, it's okay to understand that kind of concept. But if you go way overboard of just focusing
Mhm.
on yourself and just yourself, then that's not self-love anymore. That's
Mhm.
selfish already.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's narcissism, egotistic behavior.
Sabi nga sa isang linya, sa'yo umiikot ang mundo. Ikaw ang gitna ng universe. Hindi ka gano'n.
You know what?
Hindi ka.
Honestly,
Yun.
when I was younger, I had the spotlight complex. I felt like because of what I do day in, day out, I was that relevant to the world. But when I lost power and when I started to accept that I am just as normal as everybody else, that's when I realized you're nothing to the world. All you could do is make your life worthwhile. Ganun lang
Yeah.
siya. Kasi if you think of yourself as this big, ay naku, trust me, disappointment lang aabutin mo. Kasi you'll start
Totoo
questioning,
yun.
ba't hindi ako ina-admire ni ganito? Ba't hindi ako na-appreciate ni ganito? Ba't hindi ko nakukuha yung ganito? Ba't hindi ako gusto ni ganito? Why do you have to even ask? You know? Kasi why are you seeking attention from the world? Again, you are nothing but a speck of dust. An important dust. It's just that you don't have to be too selfish.
Totoo yan.
Right? So that's it for number 1, self-entitlement. Sana wag tayong maging self-entitled. Yung tamang self-love lang.
Yung tama lang, oo. 'Di ba?
Oo.
Importante
Wag yung
yun.
wag yung OA na
Tama.
self-love. All right? So a
For
very
one
quick
thing
recap.
din,
Ay, sige, go ahead,
sige po.
sir. Sorry po.
Hindi, wala lang. I just remembered something from Paulo Coelho na if you really want
Oh.
something, if you really uh, aspire to have this thing, sabi nga sa The Alchemist, if you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. O, di ba?
Yes.
Parang, you might not be the entire universe, but you are part of the universe. And the universe, if it permits, it will give that to you. Okay? If
Mhm.
you really deserve it,
Yeah.
di ba? That's one of the beautiful lines that I learned from Paulo Coelho. Love Paulo Coelho.
It's one of my favorite novels of Paulo Coelho. I when I read it, I'm
Exactly.
like teary-eyed talaga. Super nice one.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I like what you said. You may not be the universe, but you are part of the universe. Right? So
Di ba?
treat yourself not as the universe, but part of the universe. Self-entitlement is treating yourself like the universe. Being part of the universe is self-worth.
Tama.
To that effect. Yep. So as a quick
US
recap to
Philippines.
everything we talked about, here are your top 10 toxic Filipino traits. And number 10, Landed on number 10, hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy
Hypocrisy and kaplastikan. Hypocrisy and kaplastikan.
and
It's 10:24,
kaplastikan.
dude. My battery is running low already.
It's
Number
okay.
10,
It's okay. Sige,
hypocrisy or
sige,
kaplastikan. Number 9, go
I'll give
ahead.
it my. Some Filipino parents treat their children as insurances.
Number 8, crowd
Crab mentality.
mentality. Yep. Number 7.
Filipino time.
Number 6, procrastination or mañana habit. Number 5.
Go on the rules or lack of discipline.
Number 4, prying on everybody else's life and lifestyle.
Number 3, thinking that depression is an illness or being gay is evil.
And number 2, shaming or blaming. And lastly, number 1,
Altogether, self-entitlement.
self-entitlement. Now we're making
Gusto ko
fun.
yun. Gusto ko yung ano natin. Parang ano lang, hosting gig. Anyways.
And as much as I would like to make it like a radio type of conversation, kaso I couldn't play music. Mas masaya talaga pag may music. Kaso,
Yun na nga eh.
YouTube won't allow. But anyway, Sir Drew, final thoughts on the top 10 toxic Filipino traits. Gray Fullbuster said thanks. Thank you so much too. We love you,
Thank you,
Mama.
Dad.
All right, Sir Drew, final take on the 10 toxic Filipino traits.
Able to start at ibang mga items, but just to end it off with a lesson, we just need to be mindful of each other. Ito yung lagi ko nituro sa mga estudyante ko na we're all accountable for each other. Your mistake is my mistake. Your victory is my victory. So, isa lang kailangan natin gawin. It is to work hand in hand. I know it sounds so ideal, but it's the path that we're trying to achieve. Okay? It's a very tough and hard road, but it's not impossible. Okay? Kailangan lang talaga nating magpursige. Okay?
All right. Beautiful. Always beautiful. And Ma'am Warlina Guzman even said, thanks. Thank you din po for joining us
Thank you
until this
po.
late. It's again late night with Vina naman. I wanted to end at 10, but what can I do? It always happens at 10:30. So yes, final take on the top 10 toxic Filipino traits. We are a reflection of one another. You know, we are a reflection of one another. One person does something wrong, it is associated to everybody because we are all Filipinos. We have good traits. We are admired by the world. The world is in awe. Ang dami nating talento, ang dami nating natural wonders, the flora and fauna. We can brag a lot of things. Na Filipino, tatak Pinoy. These things, these top 10 toxic traits, they're manageable. They can be corrected. They can be eradicated even. So, I encourage everybody, if you possess one of these traits, and if you see others or know others who possess these traits, let's try to change for each other. Okay? Let's try to change for our country. Our country needs us. We're not trying to sound patriotic and political and whatnot, but our country needs us. If we want to have a progressive Philippines next year, next 5 years, next 10 years, and whatnot, we have to start in ourselves. How do we start? Let's cut off all these toxic Filipino traits. Okay? Yun lang. And then eventually, sabi nga dun sa isang projection ng isang, I don't know, prophet, the Philippines, one of the countries in the Southeast Asian region, will blossom in the next coming years. And I hope it happens. And let's help our country achieve that by being disciplined and, throwing away everything that is negative. Please, please, please. Collective effort to. It's a collective trait, so it is also requiring collective effort.
Meron akong dadalhin sa collective effort. It should be a collective, genuine effort.
Yes. Collective, genuine effort. Hindi lang yung pa-bandwagon.
Yes. Yan.
A collective, genuine effort. So, ganito na lang yung isipin nyo. Kung may 10 taong nagbabago para sa ikabubuti ng bansa, multiply mo yung 10 na yon by 10, i-multiply mo ng by 10. Kahit konti, pakonti-konti, slowly, lalaki at lalaki yon. So, wag nating isipin na ako lang to. So, kahit hindi na ako magbago, walang impact. No. An individual who changes will make a big impact kapag nakapag-inspire siya ng change sa ibang tao. All
Yep.
right? So thank you very much again to our viewers. I hope you learned a thing or two. And of course, to my co-hosts and guest for tonight, Sir PJ Isip, kanina, at syempre sa aking resident co-host na si Sir Andrew De Luna, na late. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just speaking right now. Maraming salamat. And of course, sa ating viewers, no? Kay Ma'am Morlina, kay Grateful Buster, kay Sir Edward Inong, kay Larissa Dison, sino pa ba yung nagstay up late? Kay Ma'am Ken, ayan, sa mga comments niya kanina, sa mga inputs niya na napakaganda. Kay John Ives, kay John Espera, kay Sir Denden Vash, sa aking in-law, sa inyong lahat, kay Ma'am Murphy, ayan, na napakaraming inputs din ang binigay sa atin kanina. Thank you so very much. And once again, Sir Drew, shoutouts mo, pluggings, advertisement.
Simple lang naman. Be safe, be happy, be well.
Yep. Thank you
Much
very
love.
much. Much love. And finally, sa ating mga kapatid sa Holosulu, sana po ay nasa mabuti na kayong kalagayan ngayon. Kayo ay kasama
Yes,
sa
po.
aming mga dasal. At sa lahat po ng biktima ng COVID-19, we're praying for you. To our frontliners, we're also cheering for you and supporting you. We're also praying for you. To everybody, please stay safe. Do not go outside without wearing your masks and face shield, and bring your alcohol with you all the time. All right. That's it for us. That's a wrap. Thank you so much once again. We love you very much and we appreciate you. We'll see you again on another live stream episode of Ask V here on Facebook and YouTube. Much love. Mwah. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Bye.